Hey, greetings and salutations, everyone. It is time for a little bit of Soluna time, a little bit of working over on our main server for on our Feybuckler build. We're level 7 currently. I'm taking a look at the gear and making some gear swaps here. We actually have quite a few options at our disposal right this second. So, first of all, we can slot in the Raven's Eye set, which is +3 artifact bonus to hit and damage, as well as a bunch of dexterity and some wisdom and reflex saves. So we'd be giving up True Scene, and we'd be giving up our Deadly 3 to do that. So I'd like to figure out a place to squeak in some Deadly, but we'll have to take a look at it. And then if I put on the Strength 5 boots with Seeker, so we could lose the plus to hit, pick up some Seeker, which also means that our Memories of the Mighty probably no longer is as necessary as it was a little bit ago. So it might be possible to do some other switching here. We can either switch to Memories of the Unseen, which is an extra d6 of damage. I suppose we could put on the Elder's Focus set if we really wanted, but I just don't see that being something we need to worry about very much. One of these is Charisma, but I think I already have it in my backpack, don't I? The Charisma? Oh, there it is, right? So I could put on the Charisma hat. That would be +2 damage, which is probably fine in this situation. And then, like I said, we have a free necklace slot, which I currently really don't have a necklace. I think we care about that much, unless we just want to slide on this all the time. I went ahead and I grabbed my Captain Chaput, because it's not all 30 hit points, but it's like 22. I think we can do without right now. So what we're missing is some Deadly. We're missing a little bit of Deadly action. So I'd like to figure out some place that we can slide in Deadly here. And I'm just not 100% sure that I can, because there's not Deadly on this, right? No, I didn't think so. And we need this. We could do it with the trinket slot, but I think I want to keep the melee alacrity until next level, and then we can do some stuff. So where can we glue to get a little bit of Deadly here without a lot of fight? I really feel like it's got to go in this ring slot. So it's possible we CC planner, please. It's possible we want to take the time to go ahead and craft a different ring in general here. So I pull up the CC planner. I have it set for ring, which is the Cannith crafting planner. I don't know if we can put Deadly on a ring. I hope so. Oh, doesn't look like it. Can we get Deadly here? To see where all we could get Deadly at, please. Alright, here's Deadly. Gloves, goggles, trinkets, or weapon. Yeah, so there's just not a place that we can put it in here for our current gear set. That's a bummer. Because our gloves and gauntlets are both taken. And we can't really do a trinket right this minute because we'd be losing a ton of stuff. Switch to Soluna. So did something terrible happen on hardcore? No, we were just done for the night. Pip would like to log off by 8 on the hardcore server, so took a little break, made a fresh tea, saw the wife for a minute, made a tinkle, that kind of stuff. currently trying to figure out if there's a way that I can slide a little bit of deadly in without a whole lot of extra work here. I don't think I can. So, as much as I like 3 damage, or 2 damage all the time, I wonder if I would be better off by doing the Memories of the Unseen here. I don't know. It's close. I guess we could also take a look at, like, randomly what rings are available in the auction house. Maybe we could randomly find, like, an interesting ring that, that we would switch into. I guess we don't have to, like, look at all of them. We can just glance. It's got a colorless and a blue slot. I mean, that should be good, but I don't think it really is. Open up the Shard Exchange. Do the same looky-loo here. Seems bad, seems bad, seems bad, seems bad, seems bad. Wow. People are really getting away with some of this stuff, huh? I feel like some of this stuff is pretty bad. Hey, cutie pie.
Oh, this isn't the same one, is it?
No, it's not the
You
same
must have been
one.
looking at other ones. I was like, oh man, the price lowered down to $69. Well, that's a different fan.
It's a different brand altogether.
I don't know, I just went to thinking it was like recently viewed. I thought it would go, list things are recently viewed. It only brought that up. I didn't view that, did you?
I don't know. I looked at so many fans.
It's not the same one though. Okay. No, I was looking for this blanket that I was looking at.
No, because this looks like you
Anyway,
center mounted.
It's like for a boat.
Well, that's not the problem. The problem is that the pivot looks like it's
it was
here,
for a boat.
which is good. Things for the boats are fine.
It doesn't go this way. It just goes this
Well, it looks
way.
like it might go that way, but it looks like the pivot's here, so it has to like hang or sit up.
Okay.
As opposed to the
I
other
was
one
just like,
can go
if that's
against
it
the
and
wall.
it went down to that price. But it,
No, I actually think they went up.
right.
By not buying them that day, I think it went up a little bit.
How do you know where they even at? I guess you sent me a link and then
I did. I sent you a link. It's probably the easiest way to know it.
Or who's this? Origami Paddler? I guess I should look at that. I should forgot to look at it.
Oh, yeah, I sent you that too. I thought that was really
What
sweet.
is it?
It's a boat that folds up,
That's awesome. We need a boat.
and it's like a kayak, but it's also, you could also do a stand-up paddler with it. It's made out of
This is
solid.
like a Kickstarter.
It is a Kickstarter, but if you bought it, we would have it by next year. And they have,
No, same price, $148.
I might have been looking at the other, like, buy it from Amazon directly, I think went up. Because remember I said they were like,
Amazon.
that is a different seller. Amazon Warehouse had them for $90.
I gotta get some water. Alright. Have fun.
Alright, bye. Get out of here. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we've outgrown this Ring of Trolls Regeneration by a lot. I'd really like a deadly that fits in this slot, I think, for future itemizing, but there's just not. At 8, everything changes, though, so I guess it doesn't matter that much, but here at level 5, it would be a big deal. Well, I mean, so the Ring of Trolls Regeneration does a lot of stuff for us still. I mean, even today. The fact that it's got a green slot so we can put the Moderate Fortification on at level 5 is good. And having New Generation, even if it only heals you, like, say 10, say you're in the quest for 10 minutes, that's still 10 hit points. That doesn't seem like that much, but it can add up. But realistically, the main thing is that if you go in cap, you're pretty much guaranteed to get a hit point before you die. So it's kind of like a free get up. I'm not saying it is the same. It's kind of the same. I don't know if we actually need a hireling, but I'm gonna go get something. But it's just I can't think of another ring right this minute that I would kind of compete with it. You know what I mean? We just want Steelix. Kinda. They don't care about... Oh. No, I don't think I care about Rage or Iron Skin Chant either, right? We could Firewall, though. That'd be alright. We can always intimidate the things off of the Wizard. I don't know, we'll give it a shot. Like I said, next level things make a lot more sense because then you can start switching into the Slave Lord stuff, and that stuff makes a lot of sense. Alright, if anyone happens to be level 7 and wants to tag along, now's a great time to do so. I believe the 10% buddy bonus kicked in today. So yeah, we can pick up 50% extra experience points by running a group. Up to 50%, so if... I don't care, I'm not doing that quest. If 5 of you want to... Or 6 of you want to jump in, 5 of you want to jump in. It's me, tell. Excuse me. I do not know why my nose is being such a jerk today. Usually this only happens if the weather's going to change really bad. But according to the forecast... Still sunshine and lollipops, 100 plus degrees tomorrow, so I don't know what its deal is. With the with the hurricane hitting Texas right now, hitting the coast right now at like just last night, today, whatever. Excuse me again. It's still another day from hitting here. Well, if you go and watch this morning stream, I was fine. So whatever it is hitting me in the last hour and a half. Maybe 2 hours tops. Anyway, try our best to ignore it here. Let's get some actual questing done. Part of the reason I really want to do a good job on this build is because I want to give it a really positive review. I mean, I feel like I'm going to give it a good positive review anyway, but I feel like I really want to give it that zing on it that help get people into it again. I feel like it's a very solid build and kind of covers a lot of the basics that you're kind of into. I kind of want to screw around with a 3 Barbarian instead of 3 Fighter at some point. I just don't suspect it's going to be as good. Summon Ellery. I'm not going to summon the Hireling just yet. I don't know when I actually need it, but right this minute is not it. Oh, hey, you know what we should do? We should turn on our Jaora. Get that free damages in. Alright, so one of the reasons we really wanted to get our Seeker item in is because we're starting to reach that point where our crit machine is starting to go off here. We're critting on a 16 to 20 times 4. So every time we crit, which is 20% of the time, we're doing 20 extra damage. Is that right? Yeah. 5, 10, 15, 20. Is that right? 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. No, 5. 25% of the time. So 25% of the time, now that we added in that Seeker, that's an extra 25 damage. Or 20 damage. And that adds up fast. Be nice to roll high on the rest of the dice, because we're getting a lot of 119s. And be nice to kind of tick that up a little bit. But c'est la vie, I suppose. C'est la vie. Also keep in mind that like I said, by taking off the Deadly, but putting on the set, Raven Eye set, we're basically a wash. And putting on the leaving our strength around, stuff like that. For a charisma item, we should be slightly ahead on damage, but I feel like we're kind of a wash. Let's have a red slot, does it? No, blue slot. Trying to figure out if there's a convenient way to get more damage on this Sky Pirate's dagger. We're already forced critical. We already have our red ruby slotted. We're already keen. Unfortunately, I don't think there's another thing that we can do without using like temporary doodads. Papa Blammo! Welcome to the USS Fat Halfling. Thanks for hitting that subscribe button for me today. I appreciate you more than you know. I guess it's a follow button, technically. Follow button. Anyway, thank you very much for hitting it anyhow. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream. If you have any questions, comments, etc., feel free to throw it in the chat box. I will do my best to answer. If you have a topic that you'd like to discuss, now's a wonderful time to put that in as well. We pretty much talk about any subject in the evenings, as long as we can keep it respectful. It doesn't have to be clean, but it does have to be respectful. Other than that, that's pretty much the rule for the channel. During the day, we try to keep it PG-13. In the evenings, we can get a little bit more dangerous. A little bit more Darkwing Duck. Looking for a game to play. Is this better than Neverwinter? So this is what I'm going to tell you. Every game is going to be a little different. I like this game better than Neverwinter. Neverwinter, I tried it at Gen Con the year it was coming out. They had a demo there, and I felt like it made me physically ill to play. But I have migraine issues, so graphics kind of bother me. But this is the deal. This is the important thing to keep in mind. If you download the game right now, and you'll have until August 31st to play any quest in the game you want. Every quest in the game until August 31st is free. Well, actually, after August, the first of next month, 1st of September, they'll turn that off. In addition, if you enter the code DDO free quests between now and August 31st, you will get every single non-expansion quest for free forever on your account. Also, in addition, for 99 DDO points apiece, you can purchase the first 2 expansions. Now, you might go, why would I want to spend any money on DDO right now? Which is fine, because that would be, you don't want to spend like $5 on the game until you know you want to play it, right? However, you can earn DDO points just by playing the game, just by getting out there and trying it. So for a couple hours of screwing around and playing Dungeons & Dragons Online, you can get the first 2 expansion packs, and you can get every non-expansion quest unlocked forever. So what I'm saying is, right now, for basically free, you can have 80 to 85% of the Dungeons & Dragons content forever. So you make a new account, you download the game, you play for a little bit. If you like it, great. If it's not your game right now, put it in the box, make a little note of it. Maybe you'll come back to it later. Apparently my hireling didn't want to come visit. Hey, Rhett, I'm glad you came by. Yeah, I'm doing my best. Trying to keto and intermittent fasting for the last since the start of the year, basically. It all adds up. All adds up. How are you doing? I hear that you're okay. Landfall of the storm, anyhow. Your parents, though, sounds like you got a bit of a ding. Hopefully they're okay. Hopefully they got out. Yep. Also, I have a Discord. You're welcome to come and hit it anytime. But yeah, give me a second and I'll do a couple things for you. So, this is what you're going to do. You're going to download it. You're going to go to the DDO store. And you're going to hit redeem code. You're going to plug it in right there. In my case, I've already done it. And then, when that's done, you're going to go here to limited time release. And you're going to try to get these. And again, if you don't have time, just go ahead. It's $7.99. Grab this 600 DDO points and buy it. You'll get $6 worth of DDO fun easily. You're good, dodge the storm, but you're suffering from rolling blackouts. Yeah, that's rough. Be real rough. From storm recovery effort. It's not gone, right? Like, you're gonna have probably a week or so of stuff, right? I mean, I haven't looked at the... I looked at the radar a little bit yesterday, but I haven't looked at the radar today. But it's out of your area, as long as it doesn't turn, right? Because it made landfall yesterday. It's on to Arkansas and southern Tennessee already. Wow. That's very quick. It's probably a mixed blessing. They also didn't they also say that this is the first R4 to make touchdown? Yeah, we've recorded. I feel like that's true. Oh no! Oh, okay. Apparently we lagged a little weird. Oh, I'm sorry. The other thing I was going to do for you, actually, Papa here, is I wanted to whisper this to you. DDO free quests. There you go. Now you don't have to worry about taking a screenshot. It's whispered. You'll have it in your whispers. Of R4s that made landfall? I feel like I heard that this is the first R4 that actually made landfall. Okay. I could be wrong. Oh no, I'm not I live in Kansas. Well, we can talk tornadoes. You work the night shift and you'll download tomorrow. Perfect. Well, the stream is a great place to be for night shifts, for sure. Normally, I'm up until about 2 a.m. my time, but I've come from a recent schedule change, so I'm currently not. I'm not going as late as I usually do, but we'll see where we end up tonight. Oh, did I pull the wrong thing? I always hit the wrong lever. I'll tell you, DDO is a game that I used to play. I used to work at a radio station, and I would work at that radio station for like all weekend. I'd go in on Friday and leave Monday. Literally, I'd work like 70-hour weekends. Were not super common, but not uncommon, especially there towards the kind of the middle of my tenure there. It was when I realized that they were not going to ever make me the kind of employee that I wanted to be there. When I was working 60-hour work weeks and they refused to make me full-time and give me any benefits. So... And I had done that for months and months and months. It's pretty hilarious. I've told this story before, but I went into HR. And I go, I'd really appreciate the opportunity to become a full-time employee here and get some benefits. You know, basically, I'd just like to have, like some paid vacation, and I don't remember what else I had mentioned at the time. And the lady goes, "You think you've been full-time for a year?" I said, "Yeah, I'm definitely. You know, especially the last 6 months." She goes, "I know about the last 6 months. You've been pulling all this extra overtime and stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, you know, like 20 hours a week of overtime's a lot of extra overtime. She goes, yeah, but I don't think you've been here for an average of 40 hours a week since you started working here. I'm like, okay, if you know, I think you're incorrect. So she pulls out the log of my entire time working there, from the very first day I started working until that day. And I averaged 37 and a half hours or something. It was just under 38 hours. And she goes, yeah, see? You haven't made 40 hours a week here. I'm like, what the S? Are you serious right now? You're going to count like the week I asked off, and you're going to count like the first week I worked, where I worked like 4 hours. Like, oh my god, you're going to count that as a whole week? I was pissed. And that's, like I said, that was the day I realized that they didn't care. But anyway, I used to play DDO on my shitty little laptop there all the time. Well, I did eventually leave at that point, or not right then, but I ended up getting a web programmer job, and I tried doing both. I tried working my weekend shifts and doing my web developer job, and I managed to do that for about 3 months, and they just never found any more help. And I'm like, look guys, I can't keep working 72-hour weekends for you guys and expect to roll into work at my 9 to 5 that gives me a good salary, gives me benefits, gives me paid vacation, etc., and you guys just continue to not take care of me in any way, shape, or form. Because I loved it at the radio station. I loved it. And they were like, oh, well, the graveyard's filled with indispensable people, and hung up on me. I'm like, oh my god, are you kidding me right now? So anyway, big thumbs up for DDO in my opinion. Nice thing about it, difficulty is incredibly flexible. So, for example, let's pretend that you've gone through, you played a little bit, and but you're not in the mood for a hard quest, right? You're not in the mood to really push yourself. You can do the quest on any setting from casual to Reaper 10. Reaper 10 is the physically hardest that you can do the majority of the quests. Legendary Reaper 10 if you want to get really technical, but not every quest can be done at that difficulty. So, depending on your mood, you could do anywhere between those two. You can solo, you can put up a group, you can use robot hirelings, you can have summons, you can have pets. The game can be played at whatever difficulty you want it to be played at. It's private instances, so let's pretend I had to go AFK right now, right? I could turn around, run out here, and let's pretend I had an underwater action item. I could jump in this water, and probably nothing could hurt me. And I could just AFK. I could clear my aggro right here. I could clear these archers.
You level 20 already?
No, I'm level 7. I could clear this aggro, and then I could AFK. Like right now, there's no monsters attacking me. I could hands off and go someplace else and do something else. Not very many of the games you can do that in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So you set the difficulty and you set the tempo. Ah, also, hello, V-Loves.
So wide awake, it's 4 a.m. here. It's not fair.
I mean, I've had days like that where it's 4 a.m. here. This week is the week that I've had the most normal sleep schedule in probably, like, I don't know, 4 years. Getting more than 4 hours of sleep at a time. Like, that is ridiculous to me. Literally for probably 4 years, I've not gotten more than 4 hours of sleep in a row.
I heard Nancy Pelosi's gonna be on your live stream, so I thought I'd log in.
I hope so. I hope she's on.
See what she said earlier today?
That Biden should not dignify President Trump with a debate.
And then last week they were all saying that Trump was going to weasel out of it by getting out of the debates.
Well, I mean, they were also saying that.
That tells me that you're scared. Like, I was going to, like, me and someone go up against a coaching job together, and I go to the school and, like, talk to the parents, like, who's a better person? I go, you know, I don't think I need to dignify myself. Like, well, he's going to win because he's going to talk to the people. I mean,
yeah, I also think that if you look, last week they were talking about how they have all these they report on conspiracy theories or whatever.
it's just amazing, dude.
And they're like, oh, the fact that there won't be a debate's a right-wing conspiracy theory. And then Nancy Pelosi's out there like, if it was me, I wouldn't even dignify it. Yeah, I mean,
And then the Harris thing, I mean, the Hatch Act, that's so funny, too.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been busy today for sure, but
Yeah,
yeah,
saying that the president can't use the White House and stuff for his stuff, but the Hatch Act specifically says in there, excluding the president and vice president.
yeah. Well, the other thing to keep in mind is that it's a pandemic. You're not supposed to leave, and that's basically the man's house right now, right? Like, that's the residence. You can't exclude someone from using their residence in a pandemic when they're not supposed to leave.
And everybody says wear masks and be social distancing. Even Fauci said that. So, like, what's his excuse for being in a bunker this whole time, not debating, or not even going out to see his people?
He doesn't want to.
Hasn't been to his home city where he grew up in like 600 days or something like that.
He doesn't want to. That's why. Does DDO have different servers? Yes. DDO has I don't know, like 6 different servers, I think, plus what they consider the hardcore server, which is a situational server. Yeah, Lamani doesn't really count. That's a test. That's a test/preview server. That's not really. I mean, well, technically it is a server. It is not a regular playable server. It goes up and down for like up for 2 days, down forever. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of. I didn't turn something here. What do we not turn? Oh, that piece. Yeah, it's I agree. I definitely feel like it shows people have the fear.
Here's a problem I really have with though is like, why are all these people speaking for him?
Because he can't speak for himself.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, dude, if that's me, I'm like, dude, I don't care if you guys think I'm competent or not. I'm fucking talking. Like for the Harrison had their first.
He doesn't even know that he's running for president half the time, probably.
It just amazed me that she would answer questions for him, and she would dodge questions about, like, hey, you used to hate him and called him you touched women and all these bad things, and she's like answers for him. He just sits there
like a dummy and didn't say nothing. Like, what is that?
Well,
I'm gonna have nobody speak for me. I speak for myself.
Well, maybe it'll be a different story when you're checked out 99% of the time. I don't know. I'm looking forward to hopefully there being some debates. I'm looking forward to some real Q&As where he can't rely on somebody else to answer his questions. I'm looking forward to for both sides. Both sides.
It's just.
I just really hope that that they find some semi close to neutral or balanced way to have moderators. Like looking at last go around's moderators, there were very few that were anywhere near neutral, in my opinion.
Yeah, Chris will also be one of them. They said supposedly.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember watching the debates for the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 presidential debates.
Well, yeah, like last time it was him against Hillary those 2 times.
Some of them were real bad.
He stomped her. He just destroyed her.
I just don't want any questions, like Vila, when did you stop beating your wife?
No, I agree. Last Tuesday when I stopped beating her, by the way.
Yeah?
Before I left. Well, that night I did take a swing at her.
You're not married. I hate that.
Well,
that's one of the things that drove me. One of the things that killed me for years. My brother and his fiance, they would use the term "my wife," or the ball and chain, or like he would constantly reference his wife. I'm like, you're not married. Stop it. She would do it too, though. Drive me crazy.
Yeah, I just call her just my girlfriend. But when I'm around her parents and stuff, she's always like, "Oh, my husband."
Fiance.
I'm like, oh my god, when I'm at that stage yet, what's wrong with her? Dad just rolls his eyes, just like goes like whatever. she doesn't care.
Said fiance is fine, or
I just say significant other.
Oh, that seems wordy to me, but whatever floats your boat. I hate it as a married person. It drives me crazy when people are like, they're dating and they're like, we're married. Like, no, you're not. Well, common law married. I don't care about your common law marriage.
So my grandpa kind of set me up for failure, and I went out for his birthday, me and him for dinner, right? And then he's like, "Oh, I invited a friend."
Stripper.
I'm like, okay. He's like, "Oh, she's 90." I'm like, "Right on, Grandpa. 12 years younger, right on." And he's like, "Oh, I think she's bringing her great granddaughter." I'm like, "Okay, something like a little kid or something, Like, okay, whatever." So we get there, and it's like this old lady, very sweet in English, and there's this like super attractive, like late 30s lady, dark hair, green eyes. So we're sitting down at dinner. I look right next to my grandpa, look at him. I said, "What is this?" He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." I'm like, "What is this?" So like the girls go to go powder up their nose, bullshit. He's like, "You need to marry an Italian, not an American Italian." I'm like, "What is it? Is this like a date? Is this like a double date?" He's like, "You need to treat her with some respect. She wants to learn about America. She wants to go to America someday, so she, I'm like, "Oh my god." He's like, "Be respectful." I go, "Why would I not be respectful, Grandpa?" So like we have dinner, we're just talking about America, this, that, and the other. And then my grandpa and the old lady, they want to go get cappuccino. This girl wants to go for a walk. Oh my god! So she got her arm under my arm. I'm just like, this is not happening. This is so not happening.
Just text Cam, you're like, "Hey, how do you feel about picking up a third here in Italy? It's all good."
And so I was really stuck. I was like, I didn't want to be like, no, I'm gonna go back to the villa. No. Can't do that because it's his birthday. But I was like trying to be respectful because I don't even think I think she was told something different.
Maybe, probably.
I had that feeling like, hey, my grandson's here from America, blah blah blah. This, that, and the other. He's kind of seeing somebody maybe or maybe not kind of thing. Not like full on engaged. If I told her I have a girlfriend 3 years, blah blah story. But she didn't really seem to faze her. Because the Italian women over there, they're super aggressive. Like, if they want something, they're going to go for it kind of thing. So she's like, ask for my email. So I gave her my buddy's email. So I was like, yeah, she's super attractive and she's nice. She's into fashion and stuff. She has like a little clothing line. But it's just like, hey, I'm not coming here till I find a wife. I have someone I like. So that's went along with them.
Glad that you figured out that you like the girl that you've been dating for 3 years. That you've pseudo-proposed to. Depending on your day of the week.
Yeah, I think I handled it right. I'm not going to tell Cammy, of course, because she'll think like...
No, you got it. You can't...
I can't tell her that, because she won't understand. She's not like me and you, where we just think like...
Sure you do. You just like, hey, Grandpa tried to set me up on this weird date, and instead of like embarrassing the woman and embarrassing Grandpa and embarrassing everybody, I just was like a respectful person, and
And that's what it was.
And then
The car
nothing
door
happened.
for her, you know, it was cold out. She had her arm in my arm. Blah blah. It wasn't like it was just something you do.
Instead,
Like,
she's
when
gonna
you're-
watch
when
the
you're there, it's
stream.
what you do. That's
Yeah,
how I
it's
feel.
fine. Instead, she's watching the stream right now. She hears this. She's like, "Oh, what else went on that he's not going to tell Sam about that went down that he doesn't want to tell me about?" And then you'll be in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, she can't watch the stream because she's have my login for it.
Well, she can watch. She knows. She may
Yeah,
not be able to
she
log
knows.
in or whatever, but she knows.
That's possible. She watched it from YouTube. Didn't think about that. I like it, Cammy. I do like it. You're gonna watch this. uh, it was, yeah. Yeah, he was just giving me shit, man. He made it back to the house. You know. You need to marry Italian. I said, well, she's Italian. No, she's third generation. It's different. There's like a lot of mixing. Like mixing.
The most, the least racist place in the world, America, folks. Even in Italy, amongst family members. Ah, you got to marry an Italian girl.
It's amazing. I just, you know. And he kept saying, "Scusa, scusa." I go, "Yes, excuse you, Carmen. What? You're not listening to me. One day I'm leaving all this to you. I'm not leaving it to myself. My Uncle Pete's the only one alive of his children that are alive. Uncle Pete, he's like, doesn't talk to him. I never seen him like for 20 years. He's like, I can't leave any of this to your sister because she's stupid. She follows Nazis.
That's true. Your
He's
sister
like,
is stupid.
Your brother hates everybody that's not American white, so he can't count.
God, what is up with your family? Your family is so dumb.
Dude, my brother's like full-blown racist.
Hey, Rex.
He told me like he didn't care if every black person on the planet died. He wouldn't care.
That is.
He's full-blown.
I don't even understand how that's a. Like, how does that even go into your brain?
I'm just telling you.
I don't understand.
And my nephew is like super far right. Like everything's conspiracy. Like every alien story is true. Everything is true. Everything.
How does that?
is true.
How does that
I mean,
make
just
him right? Don't. That's.
but listen. I'm saying he's so far beyond. Like he's like my sister is like for the left. He's like for the right.
Okay. Well, I don't understand. Again, when people like Tobrell.
I believe in a lot of conspiracies, like JFK assassination. I don't think it was one man. I don't think it was Oswald. I think it was different. I do think aliens are real. Yes, I do.
Well,
I'm not going to go out these.
the
these
government
fly-off
literally
the
said 2 months ago aliens are real, basically.
I agree.
Anyway, hi Ritz. But no, my point is that people like Tobrell will log on, and he'll make these comments like, I don't know how you don't believe more conspiracy theories, with this idea that I'm this crazy right wing guy who believes conspiracy theories all the time. Like I have a couple in particular that I'm a fond of. You know, like I'm an Ancient Aliens guy. I think it makes a lot of sense. I don't think that's a conspiracy. I just think.
I don't think every one of those stories is correct. Is real. That's all. You know, some of them they are real, but not every one of them. That's it.
Well, I'm not
And
even
there's
necessarily
and then
talking
there's my
about.
sister Cindy, who I don't talk about very much because she's odd. She got married first to an abusive ass dude because of money, and then she finds the next guy she finds on a blind date is another dude whose family owns a winery. So she's like loaded, and she just hopped up on Oxycontin. She just sits in her room all day long. I haven't seen her in like 3 or 4 years. Our birthdays are. She's a day after mine, but we're like 4 minutes apart in birth. 10 years apart though, and so she's just. So
what you're saying is your mom liked to knock boots at a certain time of
which
the
is
year.
my nephew. He's gay, and she blames my sister for taking him to Brokeback Mountain when he was like 17, and she made him gay. So she just talked to my sister who's gay. I'm like, how do you make somebody gay?
I think that you could have a preference for sure.
He was
and
already
that-
gay. I know when he was 12 he was gay. Every time we come to the house, I'd be like, hey, where's your strippers? He'd bring his friend Warren over every time with him from like age of 12 to like till now he's 27. And he was like, this is my friend. I realized after like 2 weeks of him come over now, it wasn't your friend. My mom to this day thinks that he's not gay. That's just his best friend. I'm like, Mom, he's fucking gay. Look at his Facebook. It doesn't bother me. It's just gay. I'm happy. I love him equally, really. I have no issue with it. But that's how my family works. And then there's me. One is kind of like, you know, was the baby of the family who like watching everybody else ahead of me fuck up. And said, I'm not doing that. That's why I don't like about people that say I learn from my own mistakes. If I can watch you fuck up, I don't need to learn from my mistake. I don't have to fuck up. I can watch you fuck up and say, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
I'm really glad he logged into the evening show.
Why?
because you've already like dropped like 14 F-bombs in 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah, sorry. And my grandpa's worse. That's all he says is that bomb. It's so funny. It's funny.
Anyway.
So then there's like that and like.
Hang on, I want to make this quick point before we get too far away from it here.
Okay, go ahead.
Real fast. I don't understand how, if somebody who how the label conspiracy theory is only applied to one side of the aisle, right? And if you believe in something that's conspiracy theory-ish, that makes you right-wing, where every conspiracy theory on the left is considered completely fine to talk about and completely fine to like is completely factual. Like,
but he believes like the New World Order, like there's 3 governments.
I'm not saying that you're
secretly. So that's where he's at. That's like how so. Like,
sure, I'm not saying that you don't have like a crazy family member. My point is that me saying things like the stuff that's the quote unquote Obamagate, right? The stuff that's kind of being exposed right now with the Ukraine, Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, the ties to President Obama, etc. Like these things, and I say, hey, you know, some of this stuff looks real shady. That's a right-wing conspiracy theory.
And
but
I also think that's an aid that threw Biden's voice, by the way.
Okay. So if a friend comes to me and says, I'm fairly certain that President Trump is going to try to skip the debates because he's scared to debate Joe Biden, and then he's going to cancel the elections and not resign as president if he loses. That's not a conspiracy theory in any way. That's just like completely legit. So that's my. I don't understand how these things are true on one side, but falsified on the other. And I'm not necessarily saying I'm right wing or left wing, although I will freely admit I'm a libertarian down the middle, and I do tend to lean a little bit more right in certain areas than others. For those of you who are interested, I have taken numerous political tests, and depending on what really good news has come out about the military at any given time, I'm between 1 and 3 points positive on the right scale, and about -9 on the libertarian scale, always. So, I'm not like this crazy right wing guy. I find it to be really funny since so many of my friends are much further to the left than me, so they see the distance between us, right? And they feel like they're in the middle, but if they take this test in the general, they're like they would be like negative like 10 to the left. A lot of them are like practically communists. But they feel like that's the middle. I'm like, that's not the middle. Oh, I should have went the other way. I got so used to doing it this way that But anyway, they look how far away I am from them, and they're like, "Oh, you're so right wing," and I'm like, "I'm not that right wing, guys. I don't understand. Like, I just want a balanced budget and the government out of my life. Okay, is that fine? No, not fine."
So I'll give you an example about how crime stuff works here. So today I was at the Florida's Castle, okay? It's like this big, it's this well-known, it's in this park, the Park of Santione.
Was it a castle?
Yeah, it's a castle. So there's so to be a street vendor in like Italy, basically, you have to get a monthly license to sell goods. You have to have a list of the goods you're going to sell. A lot of times they'll send undercover people there to buy off your little cart, and they kind of know ahead of time what. Check your license, and they're like, okay, so this is Sam. Sam's thing. Sam's supposed to be selling watches and like licorice and candy. But then they come to you one day and they see that you got like hats and other stuff. So like you get a fine. Well, so they came to the guy's car, and I'm just eating some gelato. My grandpa's sitting on the bench, and the kid is selling stuff, and I see that he's selling clothes, that's what he's selling. So I can hear him speaking in Italian, and the kid's saying, "Oh, this is my brother's card, not my card." And I go, "Well, your brother was named this and the other," so he doesn't want to comply. He's like, "Oh, I don't know how to spell his name."
Spell your brother's name?
Yeah, so the one cop goes behind him and pulls out his little billy club. And then the one guy's talking to him, and the guy tells him, if you lie any more time, you're going to regret it. He's like, not lying. He's like, what's your brother's name? So then the kid says, it's not really his brother's, it's really his. So the cop behind him whacked him with a little mollywopper. He just right in the back of the head, but the back of the knee. So he gets down, and then the cop tells him, so you lied to me the first time. So that was for the first lie. Are you lying to me anymore? He's like, no. So then he said, what's it good you're supposed to be selling? So he reached down his little where the bottom of the cart, sliding doors open up, and that's all the stuff he's supposed to be selling. Well, he was selling like bootleg DVDs, all that other shit was supposed to be selling. So they basically took the shit he was supposed to be selling, wrote him a €50 fine, and then they left it at that. That's it. See? You get a little brutality on him, a little whack back of the knee, don't be selling bootleg shit, here's your fine, don't do it again. I bet you that kid won't do it again.
No, I bet he'll probably turn around and be doing it
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Because I guarantee the next time it'll be your back to the head, you're going to be in cuffs, and you're going to have your car dumped in the river, and you're going to have no licenses to sell anything. I think the next step if you do legal sales is like a 3 or 6 month ban on selling anything. And they check daily. The police that walk around there, they check everybody every day.
Yeah,
There's nowhere else. There's no really selling stuff at.
not about this life that you're talking about.
Hey, that's why I always tell people. I've done ride-offs with my cop friends before, and I've heard them tell the people many times. License registration. What did I do wrong? License registration. Sir, put your hands on the wheel. Sir, stop putting your hands by your side. Sir, get out of the car. What did you get out of the car for? You're not listening to the first 4 directions we gave you. That's what my company one time. I said, if I was me, I would have whacked him in the mouth with a billy club. Because if you're not listening, and I tell you 700 times, now you're making me worry. Like, what are you hiding?
Man, I'm so glad you're not a
You got a
cop.
weapon under your car, one under your seat, you got a gun in the glove box. Why are you hiding it? What's wrong? Come to find out the guy was a wanted felon for sexual assault. He'd been on the run for like 2 years. So he kept giving a fake name. He couldn't spell the fake name.
I feel like you have I feel like you have a specific example in mind. I think this rant is about to go really, really, really far here. Hang on.
Well, that was the rant I was saying, because I was doing a ride along with my cop buddy one time. It was like, tired of people always saying, like, cops are mean. It's like, well, there's stupid people that are shady and hide shit. You know? I mean, I can imagine that here. Man, I can think about that. If I got pulled over, the police didn't come to me, speaking to me, I was like, yep, here you go. What's your name? Jason Borelli.
So like I've gotten pulled over.
I'm not playing games. I don't want to get hit with a stick. I don't want to be dumped in a... Hell no.
So I've been pulled over 3 times in my life. Once, I fully admit, it was really early in the morning. I just got done working like a 70-some hour shift at the radio station. And it was 5:30 in the morning, I think. I used to get relieved around 5 o'clock in the morning. Boss come in and relieve me or whatever, and I drive home, right? And I drove the same path home pretty much every single weekend, forever and ever and ever. And I hit a rolling stop in this intersection. I could see both directions perfectly clearly. Blam, blam. And I rolled through the stop at maybe 1 mile an hour, right? Cop pulls me over. Hands are on the wheel. It's a cute little female cop. She's like, you know why I pulled you over? I said, no. Why? She goes, you rolled through that stop sign back there. I go, oh, you're right, I did. I apologize. But I just, I'm really tired. I'd like to get home safely. Oh, yeah? You're too tired to drive? Oh, it's been a long couple of days. That's why the air conditioner's on, the windows are down, the music's playing really loud. I just gotta get home, A couple minutes of driving, I get home. Alright, license and insurance. Because they never ask for your registration here. They always want to make sure you have your valid, up-to-date insurance. So I pull out my registration, or my license. I always kept a copy of my insurance card in my registration. Right? So I pull it out. She goes, this isn't for your vehicle. Okay. Is it for whatever vehicle my wife was driving at the time? I don't remember. Let's pretend it was her Neon. Is it for a blah 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 Neon? She goes, yep. I go, it just renewed, and I must have grabbed my wife's copy of my insurance and put it in my car, and I put hers in her car, mine in her car, right? She goes, yeah, I don't care. That whatever the situation is, it's fine. So we're sitting there talking, and I'm being me, being kind of charming and stuff. And she goes, okay, well, I have to give you a ticket for the insurance. I can't let that one go. I'm like, oh man, really? She's like, yeah, but I don't have to give you a ticket for the rolling stop. Like I understand, blah blah blah. It's not a big deal. You won't do that again, right? I'm like, nah. But the whole time, I was really polite, kept my hands on the steering wheel, did all the things, etc. Right? Basically, got out of the ticket. The next time I got pulled over, it was here in Kansas. When there's no school, there's no school zone.
Yeah, no 25 or
right.
15.
And I'd driven through this school zone, and there was no school, and I didn't see the light flashing. So I was on my way to school because college was still in session. In fact, I think I was on my way for like some sort of test. And I was driving to Brell's old car. He gave it to me when he got a new car. And it was having what I thought at the time was alternator problems. But it turns out it actually just had like a fault in the wiring between the alternator and the battery. Anyway, doesn't matter. So this motorcycle cop, pulls me over. This guy's got a chip on his shoulder 10 feet long. So first of all, when I pull over in like this pathway to apartment complex, but they have all these signs, private property, yada 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 yada. I'm like, but that was the nearest place to pull over. I could have went like another, as it was, I already went like 2 blocks to find a place to pull over, but I could have gone like another block and a half to pull over in a mall parking lot, right? But I didn't want to do that. I didn't have a cell phone at the time.
Lana.
Hey, Noel Day. Thanks for the raid, my friend.
Danger zone.
Danger zone. Welcome. We're complaining about treating police right or whatever. So this is said like 6:30 in the morning, 7 in the morning. I'm really tired. I got this test to get to. I'm stressed out. This cop's pulling me over for no reason. My window doesn't roll down. So I pop open the car door. And the cop's like, get back in the vehicle! Get back in the vehicle! So I'm like, alright. So I shut the vehicle. I shut the door. And he comes back up there. He's got his hand on his gun. He's tapping on the window. He's like, roll the window down. So I open the car door. He slams the door shut. He's like, I told you to roll the window down. I'm like, officer, the window doesn't roll down. That's why I opened the door in the first place. He's like, turn your vehicle off. Like, he's seriously upset. I don't know what's going on. He's like freaking out. So I turn the vehicle off. He's like, why didn't you turn the vehicle off when I pulled you over? Said I had to jump it this morning to get in and get it started, and I'm not real confident I'm going to be able to get it started again. He's like, oh, well, that makes sense, I guess. And then I go, and I didn't roll the window down for you because the window doesn't roll down. It's an electric lock. Our electric window on this side doesn't roll up and down. I can roll up and down on the driver's or the passenger side. It's like, oh, so you're just driving this real piece of shit. I'm like,
some remnants back there.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh.
And he's like this guy just had a serious attitude, and he's like, had his hand on his gun the whole time, and I'm realizing that I'm a little upset, but this guy's being a dick, and I'm making some comments. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, you were doing 32 miles an hour in a school zone. I'm like, the lights weren't flashing, officer. The school zone wasn't active. He's like, it was 7:15 when you drove through there. And I look at the clock, and I'm like, it's only 7:20 right now, when we've been talking for more than 5 minutes. There's no way it could have been 7:15 when I drove through there. He's like, are you calling me a liar? I'm like, I didn't see the lights flashing, and it's been, like, it's now it's 6 minutes away from what time that you said it was when I drove through there. And we've been talking for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. He's like, oh, he got all mad. So he gave me a ticket. Ticket for like, I don't even remember what. Something stupid. I was so mad. Then the car wouldn't start. He's like, you got to get out of here or I'm going to call you and get towed. I'm like,
Did he give you a jump?
no. He was on a motorcycle. He was on his little motorcycle. And I'm like,
Taxpayers' money right there.
I'm like, okay, like, I told you when I turned the vehicle off, like, you insisted I turn it off, and I warned you that I wouldn't necessarily be able to start it again. And he's like, yeah, I don't care. Get it out of here. This is private property. I'll have to tow you if you're not gone in 15 minutes or something. So I ended up calling Tobrell. I'm like, hey, Tobrell, I'm this many blocks away. I was only like 6 blocks away from the school or something. I'm like, hey, man, I'm sorry. This cop pulled me over. Now the car won't start, and I need a jump. He's like, what? I'm like, look, the cop's threatening to tow the vehicle if I don't get it moved in the next 10 minutes. Something stupid. He's like, all right, fine, I'll be right there.
Like he didn't want to come do it? Jeez.
Well, it was really early for Tobrell at this time. Like, it wasn't
It's your
that.
fucking friend.
It is my friend. He came. He's just like, I don't understand. He's just like, I don't understand what the problem. Like, he was still asleep, man. Like, I woke him up. I don't know what time he went to sleep.
Gotcha.
You know? So I was like, all right, well, I get it. Whatever. So he comes, jumps the vehicle. We drive away. I take my tests. I fiddle with the battery and stuff. I get the car going again after class. I go to the arena and I'm talking to Todd. I'm like, man, I don't know how I'm going to tell Tanya that I got a speeding ticket. Like, I had a speeding ticket once before, and I was in the wrong, and I paid it. And I remember feeling I felt so bad. And they're like, what happened? I'm like, I was doing 32 in a school zone, supposedly. And they both go, there's no school today. I'm like, yeah, it's what I said. He's like, no, there's no school zone when there's no school. The officer's like, it didn't matter. It was 7:15, supposedly, when I drove through there. He's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. There's no school zone. They can't give you a ticket for being 2 miles over the speed limit. That's within the margin of error. I'm like, okay. Well, I know what I'm going to do when I go to court. Because I'm like, I'm going to go to court. I'm not paying for this damn ticket. That cop was being a jackass, yada, yada, yada. So we get home. I tell Tanya the situation. And she's pissed. She's like, what do you mean you got a speeding ticket? I'm like, don't worry. I'm going to go to court and I'm going to fight it. Because this is bullshit. So I just got through talking to her about it. I get a phone call from the cop. Cop's like, hey, this is so-and-so. The police officer pulled you over this afternoon. I'm like, yeah. Turns out there's no school today, officer. He's like, yeah, they just told me, so I'm tearing up your ticket right now. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you don't have to take care, or you don't have to worry about it. I'm like, I was going to go to court and fight you with it. He's like, yeah, you don't have to. I'm tearing the ticket up. I'm like, but you were a real asshole. He's like, yeah, well, too bad for you. And he hung up on me.
Wow.
I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah, there was one time I flew from LA to Reno to visit my best friend for the week, and so he's a diamond wholesaler, so he had to go drop off some diamonds in Elko, which is on the other side of the state towards Utah. And so he had got a new car, a new Xterra, so he drove all the way there, and then from there we were going to drive all the way to San Francisco, which was because Frisco to Reno is 3 hours, and then it was Elko to Reno is like 2.5, so it was like a 5-hour trip. So he had to go to Frisco to pick up some stones, drop off some stones at his office. This is in a bad area, so we wanted to get there by evening, so like I figured I'll drive the second half. And once you get out of Reno, you hit the truck, you get off the pass on 80 towards the west, towards like Sacramento, Frisco, Stockton. It's all like a way low downgrade, so you can really go fast and not know how fast you're going. So we're just driving along. It's like 5:45 in the afternoon. It's not get dark till about 9. We got a little bit of time before you start. So I'm doing like 80, not even paying attention, get pulled over higher patrol. So the guy's like, the whole thing. License, roll down your window, roll it down, license registration. Give it to him, it's in my license. Why, pull you over for it? I go, yeah, I was doing like 80 plus. It's my friend's new car. It's on the downgrade. We're trying to get to San Francisco before dark. I'll explain to him. He's like, okay. I said, I deserve the ticket. I'm not going to fight you for it. I'm in the mistake.
Yeah.
So then he goes to the car and he comes back and goes, hey,
said you do diamonds? I go, no, I'm in the music business. My best friend here, he's a diamond wholesaler. He's like, okay, how about this? I don't give you guys a ticket. Can you give me an upgrade on my wife's wedding ring? The best friend's like, yeah, sure, here's my card. Blah, blah, blah. So he did. He upgraded the guy's diamond ring. He had this and there. We're all friends. He's friends with us now. He was in my best. He was in his wedding and everything. He's like friends with us now. And just because I was honest, I didn't want to fight more. I was speeding. That's why I don't get when people get all pissed off when a cop pulls them over. It's like, dude, if you're doing something wrong,
Well, it's just it, like,
you let your tail lights out, your registration's bad. Now, why is it the cop's fault? Because he pulled you over because you be a fuckhead.
right. Well, see, and that's what I was going to
That's
say.
what I
Like,
don't understand. I don't get that.
the police officer, the chick, right? Like, I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, it's my bad, it's really late, you know, it's, you know, XYZ, I could see both directions. Like, I explained my situation, but I admitted it, and I'm like, you know, feel free to, you know, I'm in the wrong. And she's like, oh, well, I can get rid of this ticket, but I can't get rid of that ticket. But this guy officer, who was in the wrong, right, got all hostile. I don't know what was going on in his day, you know, but, like, there's no reason for him to get hostile with me.
Bad days. We all have them.
Right.
You know? And people don't expect every cop to give you not a ticket. Well, if he does that, he'll write nobody a ticket for messing around, doing wrong.
Right.
So
And
you just have to be bad. That day is luck of the draw for both of us.
yeah, and I just,
You know?
no, and I was pissed off, but what did I do? I followed the instructions. I did everything he told me to do. I made sure that my head was down, as it were, and then I was gonna see that son of a bitch in court. You know, like, I was gonna go to court. I had my case. Like, there was no way I was getting a ticket. Like, he was gonna eat that.
And the one thing I
That
did do,
ticket, basically.
when you first talked to me about last registration, I said, I told him as an officer that you know now, I have a CCW. There's a firearm in the glove compartment. And then he asked me, he goes, sir, will you please step out into the back of the vehicle? The mirror did, he got out to the back of the vehicle and just stood there. You know, so then he asked, what is it? I said, say Compact 45, here's my CCW, here's my license. He's like, okay, just step out of the car on this side. I said, well, can I tell him on the other side? Because this is I-80. He goes, better idea. Yeah, step on the other side. Went over there, did the thing, you know, checked the, you know, put his pin through the gun, put on the hood, everything was fine. It's like, I followed every instruction. I did everything I was supposed to do. I didn't, like, hide the weapon. Didn't tell him I had a weapon in the car. You know, so it's like, I just don't get it. I don't understand it.
I mean, it happens. Everything. Again, as a person who comes from you know, my brother was a cop. My grandfather was a cop for years and years and years. Like, you know, I come from a military / cop family, sort of. Like, my dad wasn't that, but, you know, grandfather, brother, etc., all was. In fact, my brother got my grandpa's service pistol when he retired. He thought maybe he would use it for a while as his service pistol, but I didn't.
I also don't know why people know what people think in their minds. Like, if a cop shoots somebody, and it's got to be the opposite races from each other, why does it automatically have to be a racist act?
Well, it's just
How
the
do you know?
situation.
How do you know that cop is thinking in his mind like, oh,
Well,
I might kill
and
that
it's
guy?
not even a cop either. Like, right now, there's this a couple of days ago, there's a case in Minneapolis. So we had that officer-related shooting earlier this week. What, Monday, I think, or Tuesday?
Yeah, but how can they
And then-
say that they know that that's what it was about?
Well, they don't.
That's
Well,
what
they
that's
just
what
say
I don't
that.
understand.
Everyone's saying that. But anyway, that started some shit. And then a 17-year-old man was
Yeah, kill those two people.
doing some stuff. And of course the news media is all, oh, this guy, like, right-wing extremist, like, militia, etc., went out there to kill people on purpose. Well, now they're like, people are re-looking at some of the videos, and some of the other videos that come forward. He's an EMT. He was out there treating people beforehand as an EMT, like, right beforehand. And then they started re-listening to that tape and cutting out background noise. Well, someone, like, he was being chased, right? Being chased by people. And people are like, why are they chasing him? And they're like, oh, he shot somebody. Well, it turns out with some of this other video footage they found, that shot that people heard wasn't even him. He shot in response to somebody else shooting at him. So, like, now these people are basically saying, oh, this guy's a racist and yada yada yada, all this stuff, and it's like they jump to these conclusions before there's any evidence. There's no evidence that this guy's a racist. There's no evidence any of this stuff is correct.
He wanted to go defend his streets. That's what he said.
Well, he talked about, he did an interview beforehand. And he says, yeah, we're gonna go protect that area over there. Now,
people's property. Yeah.
If this kid was not technically hired as part of by the owner of that property, he has no right to defend that property. However, he could stand out there and counter protest or whatever, and if he's threat for his life, he has an opportunity to fire. And someone shoots at you first, that's a pretty clear opportunity to, in my opinion, to fire back. Then you're moving away from a crowd, you're trying to get away from a violent situation. Somebody pushes you to the ground. Another person kicks you in the face with like a flying leap kick. A third person hits you in the face with a skateboard. And another individual comes at you with a handgun in his hand. And you can't hear what he's saying. Right? And these are all people that are recorded threatening to physically hurt you like 20 minutes beforehand. Oh man, like I would be, and you like turn around after getting kicked to the ground and you see a crowd of people chasing you, like a mob of people chasing you. Now they're all mad, they all like, oh, he shot people, and they're like, whoa, we're gonna get him. It's like, I'd be scared too.
My sister says the same thing. She's like, well, if you would never show up with a gun and no one would have shot. I go, what about the other people that have weapons and have hammers and have bats that are burning people's businesses?
What about him? He got cold cocked by a skateboard.
Why do they get a free pass?
You know, like he got cold cocked by a skateboard. He could be just as dead.
Yeah. She's like, oh, they're just angry. Let them vent. I'm like, that's fine. They want to vent, be angry. Go to the park and fucking skateboard, or
go lift weights
and chop down a tree or something. Doesn't mean you go destroy people's property.
Lift weights.
Well, that was your dad's shop.
Go for a jog.
Yeah. How about that poor old man defending the place he worked at? Got hit with that freaking brick.
That 70-year-old who got the crap beat out of him. Basically, He
didn't get a broken jaw. He had surgery today.
I say there was another guy who was basically, I don't think he died, but he was in real bad shape.
So like when that old man got pushed down by the cops, and she's like, what do you think about that? I said, first of all, I know my surroundings. I'm not going to walk up to armed cops with riot shields and try to poke him in the chest. They should have pushed him to the ground. They should have helped him immediately. I get that. I said, but he didn't die. And she goes, well, that guy didn't die either. I go, yeah, but he was just defending someone's property where he worked at.
The guy who was not hostile towards cops tried to surrender to the cops 3 times.
It's unbelievable.
And finally, he did successfully surrender to the cops of his own volition.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if this kid's guilty or not guilty. I don't know. What I do know is I'm really tired of people jumping to conclusions based off of their own biases.
And my sister said this, if you're walking down the street and me and some white guy get in a fist fight, right, and then later on that day I get in a fight with some black guy, why does that be a racist thing? Why would I not be considered racist? She said, well, I said, what if I didn't like him? What if he stole something from my house? And I saw him on the street, well, that's a motherfucker that stole from my house. So I punched him. So why do people on the video think that I'm racist? I did think this was a racial issue. No, motherfucker stole from my house. I don't care what color you are. That's why it's just such a double standard that I don't get. Like when she talks about no one should have these big weapons, these AR-15s. I go, do you realize that my handgun shoots the same round as this one? So there's no difference. It's just, so you can take a hunting rifle, you can put a kit on it, make it look like a Uzi if you want to, but it's still the same regular semi-automatic rifle, or bolt action, or lever action. Well, it just makes it look like that. Well, that's what I'm saying. We have different cars, but at the end of the day, they're all the same. They're all cars.
Oh, but guns
She-
are only made to
but she-
kill
but she
people.
doesn't say anything. Yeah, she's like, I said, that's the difference. I said, see my handgun? This bullet goes in my rifle. They're the same bullet. She just doesn't say nothing. She says nothing.
Well, it's because they got an argument that they can fight. I don't know, man. Like I said,
But here's the best part, Sam. When all that bad stuff was going on back in like May, June, all the super looting, rioting, all the cities, when she was up north at my mom's house, she called me and asked if I could drive all the way up there and give her one of my guns to have. So
No.
we broke in the house.
no.
Isn't that funny?
Can't
Isn't
give
that
you
funny?
a gun. You cannot be given a gun in California.
I can't.
It's
I
against the
wouldn't-
law.
That house is also in my name. It's my residence, so it's still a residence. But for her to ask me that was kind of funny.
Well, it is funny, but also, it doesn't matter if it's at your residence. If she has a firearm that's not hers, she either, technically, I believe in California, either has stolen it from you and is using it illegally, or you given it to her, and then both of you are in trouble.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to give a firearm to anybody temporarily in California.
Yeah, there's just an old shotgun there from my grandfather's that's in my mom's closet. It's got one bullet.
Yeah.
That's it. No, but she actually called me. I couldn't wait. And it makes me laugh when she talks about like, oh, the gun problems. Not everybody should be able to walk around with guns. I'm like, each state governs themselves. So if this state says it's a concealed permit or open carry, it's their legislation. You got to vote to not have it if you don't want it.
Yeah. States.
You know, but she's like, oh, people should walk around with automatic firearms. I go, I don't know anybody.
Nobody
who
walks around with
I
automatic
don't-
firearms.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't see anybody walking around with a full automatic AK unless you're a psychopath who goes on shoots up schools.
Well, not even that, but you can't get them.
I know you can. So it's the only special ways you can get them in there for like gun ranges or competitions. There's weird stipulations in California how you can get them.
Not even that, but like it to have a fully automatic weapon in the United States, you have to get a special license from the.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a place out down in LA. You can go
ATF,
rent one.
yeah.
You can go shoot a 50 cal if you want to do it.
Yeah, like you can pay a bunch of money, but these are weapons specifically owned and operated and taken care of by licensed and checked people. It's $1 million a year license. You're checked
That's
on.
crazy high.
If you're, I was talking to one guy, not talking to one guy personally, but I was listening to a guy who has one of these licenses, and he's like, so if I take it out to the gun range, because I'm on it, right? My name is on it, and I have this fully automatic weapon, right? And my son is designated as the heir for that weapon, right? So let's say you spent the money, you have a fully automatic license, and you have one, right?
Oh, Pro Power, nice.
And then it's probably just gonna get fed to the gym. Anyway, so you have one, right? And you have to declare an heir who gets that gun when you die, and you declare your niece as the heir, right? Naturally, right? If you and your niece go out shooting, and she touches that weapon before you're dead, like you're out there showing her how to shoot it, in almost every single state, you go to jail. Because she is currently not licensed to handle that weapon. The only place in the United States that you can go and not worry about that is Utah.
Texas? Or
Nope.
Utah?
Utah.
A lot of open ranges out there, yeah. Open territory.
Utah is the only state in the union that does not have a automatic weapon
Very weird state, by the way.
law. And that is still ran through the ATF. Right? Is that right?
Yep. I'll be FK for a minute. I'm in the bathroom and make some coffee. I'll be back.
Yeah. I want to make sure I get alcohol, tobacco, farms. Yeah, ATF. And yeah, it's serious. It's serious. I think it's like punishable for like 12 years or either 7 or 12 years in prison. That's crazy to me. Anyway, gun law rules are insane. People are talking like, oh, you just file off this thing and your semi-automatic is fully automatic. Like, you don't even understand how weapons work. You do not understand. That Sons of Gun show was was an insane show for lots of reasons, it turns out. But they had a special license to remodify firearms to be fully automatic. It was insane. All right, so let's pull up our leveling guide here. Again, for those of you who don't know, we're doing my updated Feybuckler build, which you can find at samsrobo.com. Of course, I put a link in the chat for you. So level... We just finished level 7? Yeah. So we're looking for level 8. Level 8 is our second level of fighter. Our second level fighter is going to include improved single weapon fighting. So we need to make sure that we have our balance at the correct amount, which I suspect we are, because I think it goes like, I don't think it's very high right now, but we do eventually need to get it to 7 at some point here. All of what goes into charisma. Our balance is currently 6, so we'll see if we have to raise it. I don't know if we will. Not yet. So that's 4 ranks of balance. So we need to get 1 more rank of balance here in the next couple of levels. And now we're gravy. All right, level 8 is a big level. Lots of exciting things at level 8. Mostly gear stuff, and mostly slavers gear stuff actually. So. Yeah, I think we're really going to dive deep here at level 8. I know we get to put on our, I think it's called the Ring of Power, which lets us free up our trinket slot, which potentially gives us a couple of different options here. We can get Deadly 4 in a trinket. We can get, I'm trying to think what else off the top of my head. We could put on these hit points. All sorts of changes. Assuming we're allowed to actually open the TR cache anytime. Alright, so first thing we can consider is the Executioner's Helm. Seeker 5. Insightful Deception doesn't really do that much for us. Relentless Fury is good though. Gives us a 5% enchantment bonus to melee ranged and unarmed attacks for 30 seconds whenever you kill a baddie. So it is a DPS hat that we can consider. I don't think we're very likely to put on the Slave Master's Cloak here. Probably not. We get the level 8 Swashbuckler instead of level 4 Swashbuckler. That's a no-brainer. And then we get a couple of 5 rings. So we can do the Constitution version, or we can do the Intelligence version. I think we're possibly going to do the Constitution item. Definitely a Ring of Power goes on. That's like an easy no-brainer. So this thing is going to be, like I said, it's 10% attack speed, so it frees up our trinket slot. If nothing else. If nothing else. Also, it lives in our TR cache forever. In addition to melee alacrity, it's got insightful armor piercing, command, quality strength, heavy fort already slotted on it. So, get some goodies in there. Jeez, what is taking so long in the TR cache today? What else might go on at this level? Honestly, not sure. Oh, I guess we get our Nightforge Stiletto. It's not as good for us right now as it will be a little bit later. But it's still good to carry around. It's a good one to have in our arsenal here. The Spinneret's a pass right now because we're not doing spellcasting things. This turns on at 9. I thought I had a pair of boots that might turn on it. Maybe they're turn on a little bit later. This turns on at 9. We might be wearing that. I'm not sure. It's iffy. It's really hard to, in my mind, to compete with 3 to hit and 3 to damage all the time. Yeah, okay. So we're definitely exchanging the Trolls Ring for this. This is definitely going out. Probably for a different trinket. Do we need this ring is the question. So basically, are we willing to give up Air Guard for a whole lot of hit points? Yeah, I feel like I am good with this trade. And then we can take a look at the trinket slot here. I think this Deadly 4 is probably the way to go for right now. That's a big boost to damage. Actually, I don't want to get too excited on the 9s to 9s yet, but definitely considering this precision lenses this go around. Normally I would not, but Manslayer with the high double strike is very, very good. Alright. Do we want this hat? We don't have another pair of boots, I don't think, that we would consider right now. Is that the only pair of boots I have now? It is. Okay. We have 2 of these. One of these has Featherfall slotted in it. Yeah, this one. So I can't feed it to my sentient thing without pulling out the gem. And I don't want to. So it needs to actually get moved to a different character that may or may not actually use it. Probably wouldn't use it, but it's nice to think about. Man, 5% damage is so good, though. Giving up 2 damage all the time, plus 2 to saves. Yeah, I just don't think we can get away with that. Just don't think we can get away with it. Alright. Pretty good. Pretty good. Alright, these don't upgrade yet. This upgrades at 9. This upgrades at 10. We are going to be a little bit deeper in the Star Defender tree at some point, but I don't think that happens now. We have 4 points. Where do we want to put them? I think we want to keep working our way up here to the swashbuckling style. Because I believe, if I look at our leveling path here, our next 2 levels are Bard. So we're going to get our Bard stuff, so I want to be able to take Low Blow. Alright. In addition to pretty much everything on this build is filled out, we also have our 33 action points here. So we get a blow by blow if we want. We can get double strike 2. Huh. Something seems odd to me. I almost wonder if there's a slightly better way to do this. Yeah, we want elegant footwork at some point. And resonant arms 3. Actually, I wonder if we want this first. So the more Sonic we can get on crits, the better we go, right? Yeah, because we're a little crit machine. Alright, so let's also pull up a wiki here real fast. There's an item that I have been thinking about crafting for a while, but I've not done for lots of reasons, mostly because I hate taking the time to craft. However, this might be the window where we take the time to do it, and it's actually... What is this damn trinket called? / where are you? Is there a better class or an easier one for beginners? So this is what I recommend for beginners. I always recommend either cleric or paladin. Right? The reason I recommend them is because they're both free-to-play base level classes. They can both be human, and they give you a little bit of taste of melee. They give you a little bit of taste of defense and self-healing. They give you a little bit of taste of spellcasting. Gives you a little bit of everything. Over on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/SamusGarobo, I have 3 different videos for... Is it 3? Don't look at all my things. Under DDO Guides, I have a Paladin build. I have a... I thought I did a Cleric build. Oh, Fireficer build. Here we go. You don't have to do the Artificer level stuff, but I did do a build on the Fire Cleric. But I would probably 9 times out of 10 just recommend this Paladin. It's very straightforward. It's easy to build, and it's very good, basically out of the box with not too much effort. There it is. Blasting Chime. This is what I'm looking for. You're welcome. Alright, so... we can pick up some Sonic lore stuff and Resonance a lot. Guess we go check it out. I honestly don't know if this is better than 4 damage all the time. I think it probably is going to be. I don't know if I have the materials actually to make it. So, guess we'll go find out. What else are we doing? Power leveling? Well, yeah. I'm probably not interested in doing challenges to make this item, but I'm curious if I can just like build one out of the stuff I happen to have laying around. No. Alright, well clearly we can afford this one. So there's the base. Going to tier 2 makes it... Whatever, make it level 2. Going to level 3 adds a green slot. Again, we can add it, so whatever. Do it. You know what? Let's try this. What do we want to slot in this green slot at level 7? We could do force damage. Force damage would not be the worst. But also, yeah, we don't need positive spell power because we have devotion here. Yeah, you know what? Force damage is probably the best thing we could do. See if we have one. Let's see. It'd make it level 8 if we added 54. I'm not a fan of that. But we can't really, in most builds, probably switch to the Ring of Power until before then, so we're probably okay. But we don't have the right things, so let's go look and see if they happen to have one in the auction house before we buy one off of the DDO store / chase around trying to get one. What's this stupid auctioneer? I thought there was one right here somewhere. There she is. Nope, just combustion. Alright. Take a look at the DDO store, see if we happen to be able to get one here. I imagine we will. Gear and crafting, augments, red augments. Oh wait, I can't even put that in there. I'm dumb. We can only put green and or blue and yellow. So I'm looking through the available augments using, again, the CC Planner. We could add 5 Spellcraft. Would actually be pretty good.
Alright, I'm back.
Hey, welcome back.
So it's something funny. So I sent my cat here first, right? 4 days before I came, because she'd be in quarantine. When I got here Tuesday evening, when I walked in, my grandpa picked up the airport, I came in and I noticed that all my cat food that I sent hadn't been used yet. I'm like, what have you been feeding my cat? You know? So we go in the room where she's her little kennels at and stuff. So he's been going to the market every morning, was getting fresh mackerel for her.
Oh, nice.
So now she's gotten fatter, and she always sleeps in my bed. But when she comes here, this is her second time coming here, she sleeps in his bed with him. I'm making traitor.
She loves him more because she brings him mackerel every day. Yeah, Lexington, welcome to the stream. Appreciate it. Also, Mike, thanks for your subscription over on the YouTube side. I appreciate that. I don't know if you're watching the stream, but if you are, thank you very much. Everybody, if you're not already subscribed on the YouTube channel, consider going over there and subscribing. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Also, Lexington Mafia, welcome to the USS Fed Halfling. Thanks for hitting the follow button. Why do I do this? I don't care about this anymore. Oh, Papa, your mic.
I'll be playing with you in the morning. Those are 7th levels. Perfect.
I might be higher level than that by then.
It's okay.
We'll see.
I think I have a bunch of, what do you call it? I think I'm on my 4th bubble and I got a couple daily rolls in my bag.
No, it's fine. Like, we're gonna hit level 6s, I think, here pretty soon. We may not go that late. It's 10 o'clock. Yeah, we probably still got 2 hours. What's my class, classes, and spec, bro? So, this build is a build I've been working on for a while over at samusgarobo.com. On again, off again, called the Feybuckler build. Here's a link to the write-up. There's a build video, but I'm going to be doing a new build video based off of the half-elf, because I'm pretty sure it's the correct race for this particular build, like if you're looking for something ideally. But it's a Bard Warlock Fighter. It's going to end up being 12 Warlock, 5 Bard, and 3 Fighter. It gets a pretty insane PRR, MMR. It has reasonable DPS, assuming that you have the ability to bypass, because I like daggers. Because I like the idea of having a super high double strike.
Yeah, you can do the old burst, dagger, dagger, dagger.
It's a melee with lots of intimidate. So I use the Eldritch Aura as like a little bit of a DPS. And then eventually we'll be taking Brilliance to get temporary hit points equal to my Constitution score. Plus we also have Feign Health to be able to give temporary hit points. And because we're using daggers, we're going to be a little double strike crit machine. So we're going to take things like Resonant Arms. So we're doing an extra 66 that scales with Sonic Spell Power. Obviously, we're going to try to get a bunch of Sonic Spell Power because we're going to be using the Eldritch Aura and the Fey Pack. So we're doing a bunch of extra damage with that. It's like layering all this different damage in. So
now, what if you were like you needed to be a trapper? Would you take the 3 rogue instead of the fighter?
I don't know if I would play this build if I wanted to do that. I suspect there's a build out there where you could do something very similar to this build with 12 levels of Artificer instead of 12 levels of Warlock, but I have not taken the time to like lay it out and really look at it.
Yeah, because you can swap walk with a rune arm, right?
Correct. And then you could still there's also the aura thing, but you give up your tier 5. So you give up Thread the Needle, and you give up Troupe de Gras.
Ooh, it's not good.
To do it. I think you also end up giving up Exploit Weakness.
So you take precision then, right?
Yeah, you take precision at level, which I need to make sure I have turned on actually. You take precision last level, your first fighter level. Again, all of that's in the build layout. Yeah, I should have precision and I should have it turned on actually.
Look at that. See what Velo does?
I just forgot it was there.
Should be under combat feed on martial feet.
Yeah, I don't think I would do this exact thing for if I wanted to put in trapping. This is more of like you're looking for a way to melee, but you like casters.
Do you take any wall check to retreat to get your freebie stuff in it?
I used to, but I don't think I do anymore. Again, I'd have to look at what I said the build was. Because I really went through it tooth and nail this last go around. Oh, I know what I forgot. I forgot to grab my Knife Force Stiletto. So the enhancements are pretty tight right now, I believe.
What daggers do you recommend if people can't farm out the Sky Pirate and the
Well, the Sky Pirate Dagger is clearly the best one for level 4 to like until you can get extended critical. It's just the like you take the time to do it. It's an explore zone. You can figure it out. Ransack it on pretty much any character. It's just where you need to be. Then I also suggest if you can get yourself a flotsam from the Crystal Cove when it's in. You definitely want to make sure you have one of those for killing undead.
Buckler.
I don't like the Spectral Buckler very much. I think the
I like the crab shell one from Duroko.
well, the Swashbuckler is just like the best buckler. Period.
The Demonic Soldier's not bad. It's got the guard breaking on it too.
Does it? Because
I think
this
it does.
also has 6% double strike, guard breaking, and parrying too. So like all those things together, like, are
I
really.
think Sharn has that Moon Guard buckler. I don't know if that has it on it or not.
It does, but there's a level 16 version of the Swashbuckler, and it's just so hard
better?
to. The Swashbuckler is just like a 10 out of 10 at every level.
Take a look at that crab shell one though. From Duroko. That's pretty good.
It's not from Three Rail Cove. It's from the. I can look at it again in a minute, but it's from White Plume Mountain. I feel like I looked at it last life, thinking that I might use it, and it just. Again, if I remember correctly, it just does not hold water.
That's the one I'm thinking of. It's from there.
Three Rail Cove is.
Look, I'll look for you. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I'll pull it up here in a second. Let me tear through this quest really quick, and then we can look at the bucklers. But anyway, the idea is that we're just like this little crit machine, and the
So
ability.
The Buckler has fire absorption 19, natural armor 5, immunity to slippery surface, and guard breaking with an arm slot.
Yeah, I don't care compared to double strike. The 6% double strike. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be this double strike crit machine.
Yeah, the daggers, yeah.
If you're not doing daggers, say you're doing short swords, I don't think it's the better. I don't think it's the better build, but you don't necessarily you don't have to maximize your double strike chance. So like, if I pull this up here, our double strike right now is 10. Right. Every time we fire this off, we're getting an extra 20. So now it's 30, and then most of the time I run around with the double strike action boost on because we have 6 charges. So at level, essentially from level 1 until level much later, we're basically running around in better than 50% double strike chance all the time.
Yeah, the Demonic Soldier one would be good if you were shield bashing. It's got that dazing 4 on it, impact 3.
Again, now you're comparing it to this level 16 Swashbuckler.
Yeah, it's 13.
It just it's so hard, in my opinion, for the shields to keep up with Swashbuckler. Every time I look at Swashbuckler, I'm just like, double strike, guard breaking.
Parrying, Cypher Dex.
Yeah, the Insightful Dex doesn't make me randy in the morning, but those other 3 powers certainly do.
Yeah, that Moon Guard just has something cool. It has Insightful Magical Sheltering 9 and Quality Magical Sheltering 4.
Those are good, but I think you'll end up picking that stuff up pretty soon. Yeah, I think may not get the quality, but you'll definitely get one of the other ones.
I've never seen that one before. Hector's Bracer. And an Hobgoblin Horde. Guard breaking, bleed dodge 2, parrying 4, protection 8. Oh, here it is, Sam. I know I found it. It is. It's called Barnacle Buckler. It's an old tune. It's got the Repose 7, Inherent Element Resistance 10, Corrosive Assault Guard, Vulnerability Guard, and Sheltering 12. That's what I was thinking of. I knew there was a crab shell buckler type thing.
What one are you talking about? What's the name?
Level 24.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about level 24 stuff.
It's called, it's called
The Barnacle Buckler.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, you're giving up. So, the
Pure
level
non-damage
24
though.
version of the Epic Swashbuckler, right, is 12 double strike as well as guard breaking, parrying 5, which is 5 to your saves and 5 to your armor class. And then 5 insightful dexterity, which again, insightful dexterity is not, in my opinion, the world's greatest thing. But in this case, we don't have we don't have any extra modifier to our reflex or to our, like, we're not using int to reflex saves or anything like that. So
How about that Epic Spectre Deflector? You like that one?
I'm not a big fan of the taking a slot to do, like, if you're gonna shield bash ghosts, it's fine.
It's got Ghostly too. Is that only for the shield?
It is
Ghostly?
only
Is
for
that
the
what you
shield. It's
Oh,
only
okay.
for the shield. I believe. Like, I tried using it before without it, thinking I'd swatch my shield for that, but it just doesn't work. But yeah, it's really hard, in my opinion.
There's the Admiral's Killer. That was pretty dope.
It looks really dope, but I don't remember it actually being any good.
Dodge 10. If you got a bar with a 10 dodge already.
Yeah, but you're already going to basically have your dodge maxed out. Like, all the time. Yeah, and again, every time you look at the Swashbuckler, it's just so good. 20 double strike, parrying 8. Like, it even competes, in my opinion, with these level 29. So good. Such a good.
I've never seen Rising Light before. That's wow. 10 con, 10 dex, 10 protection.
Again, if you don't need to make every single attack count for double, it could be a different story. But man, it's so hard.
I feel it, man.
I have such a hard time giving up any double strike. I want that 100% double strike all the time.
Yeah, you get the double strike quickie for being a bard too.
Yes.
Pretty dope.
You get that. Oh, you know what? I've also been screwing up for a little while, right? I've not been grabbing my Memento Reaper Strike. That's the other one I've been meaning to have on my bar. So yeah, these two things stack together, also along with the Rapid Slash. So you can get that. Let's see. I'm already at 10. This makes it 30. Right now, this is another 10. So that's 40. Although we do plan on taking that at least to 50. And then this is already 30. So you're already 80. 80% double strike. I remember, assuming that you're in Reaper mode and you remember to actually put this on your bar. Oopsie.
Is there anything like a single little strike, low level, or anything like that?
Not that I can think of that's low level, but there are some things a little bit later in the game, I believe. Also, for the record, Grey Moon Waning is like the ideal place for you to practice on your Reaper stuff. There's not very many monsters out here to kind of like become problematic.
Yeah, this hate playing twos without a rogue. That's those rogue levels.
Without trapping skills.
Yeah, just
Yeah, I'm also have a tough time doing it, but I think this build is so versatile and strong that I can let it go.
Most people don't have a high wisdom, and they don't put a lot of spots sometimes. So like you run walls and wham, you're dead. Like what happened? Oh, run into that trap. You get 301 damage.
Well, and that's part of the perks, hopefully, of this build is that you're going to have that high PRR. You're going to have a...
High dodge.
Well, the dodge doesn't really help, but hopefully you're going to have pretty great saving throws.
Hey, reflex save.
Well, all saving throws, because you're going to have that paladin pass life feed. So right now my I'm at level 8, right? My saving throws are 29, 30, 26. That is very good. So, yeah, I am very pleased with those saving throws right this second.
Have you ever tried this build with like a light pick to get that ×5 crit?
No, because to me, getting the crit to go off more often is more important than what that actual number works out to be. I would rather crit. So right now I crit on a 16 or better, right?
Yep.
So that means instead of critting on a so on a 16 to 20, it means there's 5 numbers I crit on, right? On a pick, the best I could get to is I don't think it's even 17. I think it's 20, right? Let's see. Light pick is +1 range, and a pick is 20. So I can do 19 and 20, which means that there's 2 numbers. So there's 15%. No, that's not right.
You can get more though in the archer, right? More crits.
You can get all the way in the tier 5. You can get an extra +1.
Why do you like Sword of Shadow so much? It's got a high crit and shorter.
Why do people like what?
The Sword of Shadow so much. It doesn't.
It has a naturally extended critical, and it's ×3. So you can take improved critical, and it gets even bigger.
Yeah.
It's the same thing like Nightforge Stiletto turns out to be even better than this when you can get improved critical.
Yeah, I always use that dagger that has like deception on it. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh no,
Maintain deception.
you want Nightforge Stiletto when you take improved critical.
I think I have a dark that's not for Stiletto. It's had a group. Did you get that adamantite ore, right? To get it?
Yeah.
Build it?
Yeah. But the Nightforge Stiletto, if you look it up, it's like naturally. I think it's a ×3 multiplier, and it's got extended critical range. So then you get to add an extra, like 3 or 4. No, it's not that many. Like 3, I think, or 2 maybe, because it's a dagger. I'd have to look at it again. But basically, you can get, I think, an 11 or better to crit, something like that.
Yeah, the best crit I get from when I play a swashbuckler is the hand axe bard fighter. Because you get that polarizer, you get 12 to 20 ×7. That's pretty devastating.
Yeah. And then you hit the on point, and everything that's not a 1 is a critical. And then if you...
Yeah, I always forget how to order them.
Yeah, and then also if you have your high double strike, now you're critting twice. So again, for me, I just want to crit as many times as possible.
So do you ever use your Barovian?
Occasionally. I actually like the Night... it's not called the Night Mothers. Yeah. I like the Vampirism one, the Macabre one more, I think, for the most part. But I'll use it if there's undead that needs to be killed that I can't disrupt. Otherwise, I just use the level 4 flotsam.
What's the specs on the Sky Pirate's dagger? I don't have one of those. I've never had one.
Just pull it up here in a second. It's got a red slot, it's keen, and it's ×3 normally. So for me, it's 16 to 20 ×4 right now.
Where do you get that one at? Is that the 3-roll cove or is that the...
Yeah, it's 3-roll cove also. So the Nightforge Stilettos is I think, the best for that kind of stuff. And then after that, I would recommend taking a look at green steel. You could do a triple earth dagger very cheaply. You can do a double or triple positive very cheaply. Or you can be like me and be a little bit more crazy and build a vacuum too to give you a second insta-kill type line. So you guys will notice with me, after a little while, once we get to level 12, I'll have Manslayer on somewhere, probably on my ring, because I'll start using the ring of Manslaying or whatever it's called, and then I will I'll also get the vacuum weapon. So then you put all those things together with your massive double strike, and every time you attack something, you have like 4 shots to insta kill it.
Still never had green steel. I got some blanks, but never had it.
I mean, we could build you something on Serlona. You just got to get shards by either running.
It seems like it just takes too long.
Nah, getting materials is a little bit complicated sometimes, but
That's what I'm saying.
you
3 or 4
get
runs, dude. Fail 3 or 4 times, like, man, I still don't have all my stuff. All right, I'm moving on.
well, but like a blank, I can build you a blank. Like it does.
Yeah, I think I might have a couple. I got like a kukri and something else left.
Yeah, that stuff sounds like junk. Like
Or a great axe, I think, maybe.
you make like a repeater if you're gonna do maybe you do a heavy crossbow if you're gonna do a bunch of inquisitive lives, or in my opinion, you do a dagger.
A falchion or something.
I used to really like falchions, but now they just, again, I'd rather just play a dagger build over a falchion build. I literally have this amazing falchion in my bank that I've never used. It's
Here's a question for
Keen.
you, for your viewers.
with
Your new-
poison critical, and then I icy bursted it, and I
Nice.
force bursted it, and I never use it because
It's sad.
I'd rather just use the dagger. The dagger is more efficient. It's one-handed. I don't never use it, but I almost never use it. I use it when I do like two-handed fighting builds.
Now, if
Until
you're
I
a newer
get Sword
player,
of
you build
Shadows.
green steel. What's the first thing you build? A ring, a hat, boots, weapon?
Probably a weapon. And then, like I
That's
said,
something you use for builds, the weapon then?
yeah, and I would build like a multi-tool type thing. Like something, I'd look at my lives or what my plan is, right? So let's pretend I'm Papa here, right? Papa
See,
just
I like
started.
a positive.
Triple positive is fine, but again, why you don't really need it compared to like a flotsam, right? So the advantage of triple positive is it's got the greater disruption on it. I just use a bigger flotsam if I'm gonna worry about that, you know, because if you're doing Crystal Cove, you're gonna run like 1,000 Crystal Coves. You're gonna get all the sweet toys.
Yeah.
So in my mind, you're better off taking that opportunity and building something that you're going to use for numerous lives, right? So for me, again, my order of, like, if I want to be on the cheap, Triple Earth first. Triple Earth is acid damage. Acid damage is a good one to have. And your Triple Earth capability is Earth Grab Guard or Earth Grab on attack. So that's really, really good, especially if you're doing like ranged or even if you're doing melee. Like it's versatile in both slots, right? It's both offensive and defensive. If you need to like double task your item, like you want to have a raised head clicky and you want to have like a reasonable DPS weapon, then I would say, okay, well, just do a double positive dagger.
How about the lit too? Or those are pretty good too, right? The lits.
Lightning striking, I feel like is fine. Again, for me, I'd rather have an insta kill type effect, like like a vacuum too. I'm also have been a big fan in the past. I don't know if I'm currently a big fan, but in the past I have been a big fan of the Radiance 2. Radiance 2 doesn't go off in such a large way, right? It only does 46 extra points of damage and blinds the opponent, but it goes off every single time you crit.
Oh wow.
So again, if you get your crit chance up there, so you're critting 50% of the time or better, that means every single attack you're doing a 46 extra points of light damage, but more importantly, you're blinding the opponent. So when you blind the opponent, yeah, I mean, this build or rogue.
Damage from your warlock, right?
Huh?
Does you radiance damage from your warlock light damage?
I don't think weapons apply modifiers to them in that way. Like, you don't get your spell power to your regular damage.
Gotcha.
But the thing about a blind opponent is it applies your sneak attack dice and or your sneak attack damage, your regular sneak attack damage. So especially if you're like a rogue or somebody that has a bunch of sneak attack dice. You could, yeah. You put it on a crossbow.
Wow, you got range, blinding, extra sneak attack dice. That's cool.
No, it doesn't give extra sneak attack dice. It turns them on.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, I gotcha.
So, like, one of the things that's really difficult about sneak attack dice on a ranged weapon is it is often difficult to, like, make your opponent susceptible to sneak attack. Not only do you have to be in close proximity to them, you also have, they got to be distracted by somebody else or whatever. Well, with that, you just blind them. Like, every time you crit, bam, they're basically always blind. And the nice thing about being blind is not only...
You can't cast?
No, you can still cast, but you get 50% miss chance. So it's also an offensive and defensive weapon.
Well, if you have that with, like, displacement on, then you're pretty good.
Don't think those are in different channels. They might be in the same channel.
Ugh.
I'm not 1,000% sure. Don't quote me on that one way or the other.
Oh, yeah, give just a minute, please, Asher.
Oh, it's kind of nice that these trolls came over here. I still have to run across to get the rest of the treasure and the collectible, but it's okay. I don't want those guys to have to run across the trap. They're going to get killed, and I'd rather them not be killed while we're running around here like crazy people. I believe there's another collectible on this side as well. Yeah. I like being sure to pick up the collectibles because, yesterday, for example, we ended up picking up 3 medium dragon shard fragments, or sorry, small ones, which I can turn into a either 10 or 20% XP potion. So, literally free experience because I took the time to click those collectibles. Which will probably make one for sure when it's time to do... Please, brain. Please work. Shadow King. Do I craft? I do craft. I craft a lot of different things. I do Cannith crafting. I do... DDO has like, I don't know, like a dozen different kind of crafting. I pretty much do them all, depending on the situation. Crafting is not like as I understand World of Warcraft crafting, not like Locho crafting, stuff like that. It's more built towards you specifically and very combat related. So, like, I can't craft something that somebody else would use to make some other product. In DDO, it's a much more linear crafting process. Think that makes sense. So, like, I crafted this suit of armor. Right? It's level 4. It's Twilight Invulnerability made of Mithril. So what I did is I found a Mithril suit of armor, and I stripped it out of its enchantments, and then I made a gem that gave Twilight, and I made a gem that made Invulnerability, and then I went and I put them together on that item. Remy's on his way downstairs, probably to pick up the Game Boy or the Switch, I think.
No.
Oh, it's the wife, not Remy.
No, Remy's in the bathroom.
Well, you give me like 5 kisses on stream already
No,
today.
my hair is all messy.
Whatever, give me a kiss. Hurry up. Come on. My neck hurts. Hair looks great.
No, it doesn't.
They're not even gonna see anything.
It's like frozen.
The playback's frozen over here.
Alright, get on.
Good night, babe.
Remy's supposed to be out there for the rest of this trash.
You might. Oh, you're probably not gonna see him.
I already reminded him. Said he
Okay.
was.
We'll see. I'll put it way out here so you can
Because
remember.
I said, I'm going to put this turkey pan in this trash can right here so you take it out. And he said,
Yeah, I think I put all the
Listen
rest of the
properly.
food stuff that I wanted in the trash already.
so. They took it out last night. And he took the dumpster to the curb. So I think the dumpster on the curb. We used to take all the rest of this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good. Love you. Oh man, the sleepy is kicking in high gear. We'd like to find a dagger that I could use to kill puddings without splitting them. That's a thing that I would like to have. Pudding slaying.
My grandpa's funny. He's like, all Americans get straight. Video games are too much. Watch your burning. Read a book.
That is fair. That is fair. I do my best to read as many books as I can kind of cram into my schedule.
Last night I was playing, just goofing around, you know? And he's like, watch me with my laptop. He's like, why don't you be Roman? Like, well, I actually get something look or Roman. Always be Roman. Stay to your roots. Like, there's not really Roman characters. I can make it look like a Roman.
That's what you-
First sword and shield.
You have to explain that it's
Yeah,
not
102.
it's not
Yeah.
set in Earth. Like
Yeah,
we're not
yeah.
playing on Earth, Grandpa.
Just gotta tell him that. 102 years old, man, you really can't see, you know.
Oh, I'm sure he understands the idea of.
Oh, no, he does. He just plays the old, like, I'm old and senile role, but he's definitely not old. He's old now, senile.
Yeah. Well, I just mean that if he reads, I'm sure he's read stuff that sooner or later he's read some fiction, and there's plenty of fiction that's not set on Earth that I imagine he's, somebody out there understand, like, whether he's read sci-fi or what do they
Yeah,
call it?
He's read a lot of, what do you call it, Tom Clancy books like that. He's read those.
Yeah, I don't think there's any Tom Clancy. I think all the Tom Clancy stuff is set on Earth. I haven't read 100 million Tom Clancy books. But, ooh, are we finally at the point where we need a little bit more help? Maybe. Ellery, kiss my boo-boos. Oh, I think she's
He's
up
now
top.
here talking on the phone to the old lady.
But, like,
Last night.
ooh, at 4 in the morning?
No, it's past that now. Yeah, my phone.
But, John Carter of Mars is, like, sweet. I don't know if you've ever read any of that, V-Love, but
No, it's almost 6 a.m.
early to bed, early to rise, I guess.
I'm gonna go to bed pretty soon. I gotta get some sleep, but time differential's killer.
Yeah, I've been trying to stay up a little bit later each night, try to get back closer to my normal time frame again, but I do not want to go back to 4 hours of sleep, you know? So I'm like, I might end up shifting the schedule a little bit. We'll have to see. I don't know.
You should switch this next 2 weeks of streaming to my time zone.
That's probably not a thing that's going to happen.
I'm a subscriber, I have rights.
You do. You get all sorts of rights and privileges. The big thing, though, that I've got to do is I've got to go get that lampshade pretty soon.
You gotta find a goofy hat to wear during the stream. Like when you're wearing your character. The lampshade hat.
So that is... Remember we were talking about that gentleman who was kind of interested in some... the leatherworking guy who was interested in like some sort of deal. I think that is where the confusion came from with Talab, is because I would like to get one made. But there's a chick in Hispanic lady in Great Bend who crochets and they make stuff like that.
I don't have to sleep with anybody from the stream, right? To make this happen, right?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
I mean,
Those
you
days are
could.
over, good.
you could, but I just haven't. Like we talked about it a little bit here and there, but she hasn't ever given me like a solidified price yet. I'm just not somebody who's going to buy something without a price first. So Talab was like, this leather guy would make this hat for me. And then the deal that he wanted to make was I would buy all the materials and he would donate all of his time. Well, same thing. He doesn't know what it would cost. I don't know what it would cost. And I'm not about that. And I'm not at the point where I really want to spend like $300 on materials for a hat. Unless I'm going to get a hat that I really want that I'm going to wear all the time. You know, especially if I'm going to get a really nice leather hat. Because someone takes the time to put like 20, 40 hours into it. I'm going to get a hat in the style that I could wear all the time.
You should go in that says V-Love is the top bidder.
Yeah? Do I need to make another tier so V-Love can get a fancy hat?
That'd be cool.
I got to look at how much you got to pay to get a hat
in one
made.
day.
Huh?
Most bits in one day. You gotta wear that person's name on the hat.
Wow. That's an expensive thing for... Because getting a custom hat made is not cheap.
You just get like you have random, you get a piece of paper, put the name on it, just tape it to the hat.
Oh, okay. So it's like a... What do they call it? A condom hat?
Dude, that'd be dope.
Well, the hat is... The hat guarantees you don't get laid.
No, I'd like
Is
to be
it-
careful though. We put on a stream, some dumb high school kid might be like, "Oh, you just gotta wear a hat? You don't have to worry about it." Yeah, be careful.
I'd be surprised. And there's people who don't, you know, bits. Bits is not like my end-all be-all metric for income. The things that actually do the, like, help me out the most are actually the people out there who are on the Patreon. Like, you You definitely get some perks from
Lana.
the people who support on
Lana.
Twitch. Speaking of Twitch, hey Voodoo!
Danger zone.
Danger Zone! Hey everyone, welcome from Voodoo Stream. Greetings and salutations.
Has anybody heard from Dom, by the way?
Pip talked to him briefly, apparently the other day, and
Oh,
apparently
wow.
he's still not feeling very well. He's still not getting very much sleep, and he does not know when he'll be returning to streaming or DDO or anything because of his. He's just not feeling well. That is what I got from. He talked about it at the beginning of today's second stream, and that is, I think, basically the gist of what he talked about here.
Okay.
But anyway, the Patreon is the most efficient channel to support the stream financially. Again, it's awesome, especially if you're somebody who has like a Twitch Prime or something, and you're sending that money to somebody, you know, that you're already paying for or whatever. That's great.
I did that already, right? I think so.
Well, you're a subscriber.
I have Prime. I thought I gave you.
Well, you used to do that, but I think when you had to change your password stuff, I don't think you have it hooked up
Oh.
to your new password. So I think you just pay for it. Is what I was trying to say. So you subscribe, but I think you just pay it. I don't think you have your Twitch Prime hooked up to the correct account to give it away.
Okay. I'm on my Prime. Where do I go?
I honestly don't remember. I had instructions. I helped you with the instructions years ago, and I don't know what it is now. Alright, let's go to the dump. Alright, so inevitably the questions we're going to get asked. We are doing a Feybuckler build, which is a build that I have linked here at samusgrobo.com. The reason why we're doing it right now is because I'm fairly certain that the... Ooh, actually, I do want the healer up. I'm relatively certain that the half-elf is the superior race for the build. And I want to do like my final build write-up and video on the half-elf to kind of show it off and demonstrate it. And this is our last half-elf life, so that's why we're doing it now. We're currently 3-3-2 Bard Warlock Fighter, but we will end up having 12 Warlock levels, 5 Barbarian or Bard levels and 3 Fighter levels. There is a video breakdown currently at youtube.com/samusgrobo if people have other questions about it, but it's on an ASMR life, which I would not recommend because Warlock and ASMRs do not really love each other very much. They did not make happy babies. Anyway, Velo's in the channel. Velo's hanging out with us from Italy. And, yeah, I think that's the gist of everything that's going on. We definitely have another hour of the stream on deck, so stick around. Use the chat. I do a really good job, I think, of moderating the chat and having conversations with people. So if you have something you want to talk about, I want to talk about it with you.
My Twitch accounts? That doesn't look right.
I think you go to like your Amazon, and then you link up your Twitch account. And again, because you've basically borked your original Twitch account, I'm not sure where you have to go to change it. Probably somewhere in your Amazon.
It says manage Twitch account, and it says unlink account. I don't want to link it, right?
Well, you probably have to unlink it from the old one and then link it to the new one.
No, it can't be right.
Yeah?
No, 'cause this is my original one. I fixed it.
Oh, the V-Love is your original one now?
Yeah, Lvl 93 my original. That's the first one.
Okay. Well, Anna. No. Alright, let's
It
see.
says Prime Gaming instead of Amazon Prime benefits created for gamers. Prime and Prime student members can share on Twitch benefits. So I think like go to your Twitch page to do it.
On the Twitch page, you can give it the subscription, but tying them together, I think, happens on your Amazon page. Basically, what used to be Amazon Prime is they changed the name of it to a different program. That switch happened, I think, this month, maybe? And they added some stuff that I really don't remember right now. Let's unequip this buckler. I should unequip this buckler.
So I am subscribed to you, it says.
You are, yes. You subscribed, I think, sometime this week. But again, I don't think it was with your Prime
25th,
account.
it's every 25th it goes off.
Yeah, but I don't think that's with the Prime. I think you're just paying me. I think you're just doing it directly.
So I can't do both of it?
No. You have one subscription each month. But the other one you get a, like the Twitch Prime, you get a like giveaway or however you want to like to do it. The only way that I really know the difference is because the Twitch Prime has a different animation. It plays Optimus Prime shooting at Megatron, where the regular subscription is, I forget what the regular subscription is actually now. I know the gift subscription is the Care Bear stare. I love that. It's one of my favorites, actually. I don't know. I really love the emote. Not the emote stuff. I mean, I do love the emote stuff too, but I really love the like the little overlays with the different animated things and the music and stuff like that. I really get a kick out of those every time I see them go off. Every single time. They make me smile. That's why I picked the ones that I did. like the DuckTales theme song and all that stuff. All those things make me really smile.
I think there's better stuff in the world making me smile.
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely, those are some of the things that really make me happy.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell Candy that I had to chaperone this girl. Sounds better.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's what you did.
I would say she had like one arm and she was like in an accident or something. So she's like,
Again, I wouldn't exaggerate or lie in any way. All right.
It's so funny. Yeah, when I watched the debate, the last half of it, and then we go to bed.
Oh, the convention.
Yeah, wake up at like noon and hang out with Grandpa, go out to eat. He's having his coffee and his cannoli. Talking to the old lady on the phone, I can hear him in the other room.
Alright, let's see. I'm looking to see if I can... Oh, the subscription is the Samus Garobo, like Cheers, with the Buttercup noise. Love that Buttercup noise. That Buttercup is so good. Nobody tells me when to come. I'm a monster. It's a surprise.
Alright, man, I'm gonna hit the hay. And then while I probably call Kenny and say, hey, I'll see you on your morning stream. It'll be
Alright.
like 6 p.m. my time.
Sounds good. Good luck. Have fun.
Yep. I will. You guys take it easy out there. Make America safe.
Live dangerously. Leave a good-looking corpse, right?
That's it. Stay easy, man.
How you going, V-Love? Take care. Yeah, V-Love traveling is a weird, for me personally, a weird situation. He really, especially when he gets me going on the financial side of things, I feel like that conversation often turns like weird. But I you know, like I said before, I answer everyone's question to the best of my ability, so try not to color any answers. Oh, she got it. Nice. Alright, blue side. I want to make sure those guys are both off of the thing. I don't know if this is the most efficient way to solve this puzzle, but typically at the end of the day, I really don't care. Just the way that I end up doing it. Just buzz through it as quick as we can. Same thing with yellow. I like this puzzle. It's not difficult, but it requires a certain amount of effort every time. And as long as you have like a reasonable mindset on the way you solve the puzzle, it's very quick still. Oh. I like it. The riddle one I like less because the riddles are, once you learn a riddle, the riddle is learned. But I suppose you could say the same thing for figuring out a puzzle, right? Alright, I want to make sure to get healed up. I want to make sure to be hasted, all that stuff, when we get started in here. This, I've had this fight go really, really poorly on me more than once. I don't think it's going to be a problem for this build, though. This build is... Again, also, the last time we were in here, we were on Reaper 4. I started Reaper 4s on the Alchemist build, so... I think we're Reaper 4 on this, at this point. May not have been Reaper 4 until level 12. I honestly don't remember. Hey, you're back. Welcome back, Leafbinder. Love your Featherfall saves. So much time. I'm glad you like Featherfall. I am not a Featherfall guy. I actually get aggravated when I have Featherfall. Is there a cap on strength dex per level? No, there's not. Will healing or lore help a paladin? Not their lay on hands, but if they cast any healing spells. So your lay on hands are supposed to just like straight up be a formula. And then it has to do with your healing amp, which you can find by mousing over your hit points. It'll say amplification. But your lore doesn't work for that. Lore is when you cast a spell. How often does it crit? So like for example, right now, my positive is 127, and my positive lore is 15%. So basically 15% of the time, my healing spell should do extra. So like that first one did 46, the second one did 33, this one did 40, 24. You should pick up if it says the same bonus, they don't stack. So if it says enchantment and enchantment, they don't work together. So here we go. This Indomitable Wrappings belt. Because this says healing amplification 12, and here it is actually. So that says healing amplification 12, and then this one says healing amplification 16. Whatever is the highest of those two effects will be what takes effect for my build. Now I have a bunch of different modifiers that come into account for my healing amplification, and as you like find different ones, you'll put them together. So like if I had something that said insightful healing amplification, it would stack with regular healing amplification. I don't have anything that says insightful. Enhancement lines, like the improved recovery from the half-elf tree, enhancements will always stack, allegedly. Yep, you're welcome. I was going to spend that action point, but I think I changed my mind. Before I step into the quest, I'm going to use the restroom really quick. Feel free to mute the tab or whatever, but please stick around. We'll be back in just 30 seconds. I don't run ads very often, just when I go to the restroom. And I will be right back in 30 seconds. Alright, everyone should be here. I'm actually going to message Remington really quickly, my son, who is probably not doing all those things. Alright, I'm I'm just going to... I literally sent him the word remember. So we'll see if he, quote-unquote, remembers. Alright. Again, just for speed, I've been doing Reaper 1. I have this life and 3 other lives to get done if I can before Shifter comes out to get my triple completionist, or my triple racials done. I guess it's just your racial completionist, right? That is what it is. Alright, so I always clear that one, then I always go down here and clear this shrine in case of an incident. Like I said, remember we're a crit machine. Every time we crit, we get all sorts of interesting little perks, including a bunch of extra sonic damage, including that scales with their spell power, including a whole bunch of stuff. So we want to be critting as much as possible. I don't need that. I need this. Critting as much as possible here. So high attack speed, high double strike, etc., etc. Those are the things we are looking for. So keep an eye out for every time you see this sonic damage fly up here. So I'm pretty sure that means we have critted if you see that sonic damage. And currently we don't have the 66 tier, we just have the 46 tier. Which is why the numbers are still kind of... Also, we're only getting, like, our Sonic Lore is like 130 something. I usually don't pick up the unnecessary books. I usually only pick up the ones that matter. That could be incorrect. Oh, I'm sorry. If you see like a 10 and a 1, that's the aura triggering off. Sorry. Oh, excuse me. We're definitely getting sleepier faster than I thought. Hopefully we can finish up the these quests before we run out of willpower here. I really like these quests a lot. They are some of my favorite quests currently in DDO, are these level 6 quests. This one in particular I find to be a lot of fun. Hard sometimes, but a lot of fun. And this part of the various bits of the package here. Every time we crit, not only are we doing that extra sonic damage, but because of the guard breaking on the swashbuckler, we're dazing opponents. Just a lot of miscellaneous value in here on these crits. Okay, if these books are coming at us, that means the other bookshelf is already alive. Remember, On Point is essentially an auto crit right now. It's not literally, but it's pretty close. Plus 12 critical threat range. We're already critting on a 16 to 20. So an extra 12 on top of that, you can imagine, is like a 4 or 5 or better. Whew. Pretty good. And you get 2 attacks with that. I thought I had the hirelings right here. Looks like they're actually in the next room. I'll take a heal and a haste. Haste doesn't do that much for us. It is a small upgrade though. And DDO and D&D in general and a lot of other things are... Open the door, there's the ambush. Like, I opened that door, didn't get the ambush? That's a weed. Also, all these guys are immune to electricity, so this is a reason to be cold-based if you're an alchemist. Excuse me again. Yeah, I think we're tighter than we're willing to accept right this minute. I want to be able to jump back in the event of a nasty mistake here. That is not the button I meant to push. Yeah, this may actually end up being the last quest. I am drifting off faster than I thought I was going to here. So for those of you who came over from Voodoo Stream, and I have to sadly report that I am very tired and did not treat you as well as I should have as a person who's awake and entertaining. I apologize. Would love to see you guys around as often as possible. So I do apologize for being sleepy. If we get a good conversation going, that will help kind of jar me here. So, yeah, something in particular you'd like to discuss, please put in the chat box. I can talk about anything, even if I don't know about it. That's what it's all about. Guess we'll find out exactly where it's at. Row 7. Okay. My neck is super tight. It's aggravating. I'd searched it out as my running around, but I didn't see the little line pop off to it. Come on, video game. What are you doing? Night drinking? I have all these like cuts and bruises and bug bites and stuff from the camping trip this weekend. And some of them are like, this one actually came from the way I was holding the steering wheel on the school bus, I think. But it's so itchy around it. I just want to itch it all the time. Which of course is not advantageous to your healing process, but man, I'm so itchy. I successfully itched a raw spot in my foot. So now I have to treat rubbing my foot raw. Not the world's funnest injury for sure. Scratched myself, cut myself scratching. Conveniently, that's hidden underneath my beard. Is there a Bane weapon you should get for a certain mob? It's up to you. The only Bane weapon that I use anymore is Undead Bane, but there is a very light, slim possibility that you may want to experiment with a couple of different Bane weapons. I personally am much more of a get the fewest number of items in my backpack mentality. That's my goal. I want the least amount of clutter I can get away with, as opposed to having a golf ball, golf bag of every single weapon to get the absolute most optimal weapon at every minute. Incorporeal Bane is useful if you have a Ghost Touch weapon. The fact that Incorporeal Bane does not come with Ghost Touch is kind of meh. Crafting something is very good. Like I said, I do use a Undead Bane weapon. I have a dagger, or maybe even 2 daggers, that are Undead Bane of force damage. I think they're level 4. I use them sporadically depending on if the life is feels like the damage is a little low. That has not been the problem in quite a while. Again, the flotsam kind of takes over that kind of stuff. Yeah, see, and I don't bother with that generally. I feel like 9 times out of 10 I can kill the monster quick enough without needing a special weapon. waiting for the flotsam to kind of kick in at level 4 is a different story, but once I get to level 4, I don't worry about it anymore. Again, personal choice. I always think that's the door. I know it's not the door, but I always think it's the door. Ellery, what are you doing? I just realized Ellery and I are twins. So for those of you who may have missed it, when I was doing my graphics, I set my alignment, and then I forgot about the fact that I didn't do my style. So we both Ellie and I have cornrows this life. I feel ridiculous, which is why we're showing our hat 100% of the time. Yeah, build a unitasker, or not a unitasker, a multitasker, and kind of decide what tasks that you find to be problematic, and then put something together. So, in your mind, if like you want to build a ghost touch weapon, to me, instead of making it plus +1 stronger enchantment bonus and an extra d6, I'd rather it just be a d6 against everything. I have the bad feeling this guy's about to bug out on me. Yeah, he did. Alright, so if he bugs out, can we fire this off and then gotta beat him down again? Gotta beat him down so the force field goes down again. Alright, the force field went down. Yeah, I just don't want to deal with the fact that we had him knocked so far negative and he wasn't going to die. No thanks. Guess we ran all the way down here. Let's pick up this extra, I don't know how many experience points, 200. I have a piece of armor that sometimes gives me a soul gem. What are those used for in crafting? That's pretty much only used for making a Bane weapon, unless... Ooh, gross. Unless they're elemental gemstones, like earth elementals, specifically in a very particular range, and then you can use them for like adding hardness to things. I wonder if I have it happen. Oh, I definitely do, right? And some of my green steel items. We'll show this off here real fast. Okay, so you see how this dagger is constantly being broken and worn down and stuff like that. Its hardness is 12. Okay. Now, I can't compare apples to apples right this second. However, what I can do is show you my Supreme Tyrant Green Steel Helm of Mineral. And it has this Adamantine Ritual 1 put on it, which basically says it has 5 hardness and 10 durability. Durability is the hit points. Hardness is like damage reduction. So right now it has a hardness of 28, which means if it was to take damage, say it took 30 damage, it would knock off the first 28 points of it and it would take 2 points of permanent damage. The reason why this thing struggles is because it has a hardness of 12. So if it were to take 20 points of damage, it would knock the first 12 off and it would take 8. Weight's a lot bigger chunk, went up from 60 than 28 is from 150. So, or 2 is from 150. I have some other stuff in here that's kind of got the similar bonus on it. But I really don't recall. Anyway, ddowiki.com. Under DDO Wiki and crafting, they have a bunch of different things. Augment slot, Kenneth crafting, special event upgrades, etc. The one I want to talk about right this second is, I think, item upgrading. No. Stone of Change. Sorry, it's listener Stone of Change. And what you can do is you have these different adamantine rituals. And in addition to adamantine ore that you can only get from like one quest, you also need these 10 soul gems of Essence of the Earth, which is a particular level range of Earth Elemental. Specifically, level 7 Earth Elementals. So it's a way to get hit points and hardness added to items. So other than that, and Kenneth crafting specifically for Bane, I don't actually know if there's any other use for soul gems. Alright, anyway, I think that stuff's all good. Unfortunately, I am barely staying awake here. I don't think I could live through another quest. So we're going to put a pin in it and we'll knock on it tomorrow. Who else is streaming Dungeons & Dragons online today? Looks like Dirty is, Warble is. We have a group of people playing Dungeons & Dragons online. They're playing Dungeons & Dragons and they are online. I feel like it should go to either Dirty or Warble. I think we're just going to throw it to Dirty tonight. But I do appreciate you guys taking the time to hang out with us today. Again, thank you to Voodoo for throwing us a raid. And the other... Who else? I think I may have refreshed my browser since then. So let me grab my recent event log here to make sure I thank the correct person. Neo Day. Nelly Day, something like that. Anyway, thank you very much for the raids, my friends. I do appreciate you. You definitely make me happy to have you guys be counted as friends. Speaking of which, youtube.com/SamusGarobo, best way to help the stream out for free. And if you have a buck or two you'd like to kick this direction, patreon.com/Samus, best way to help us out financially. Alright, everybody, with that, my plan is to be back in 10.5 hours. So I hope to see you all then. Peace, much love, and have fun watching Dirty. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Toodles.